Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. And with me today is a dear guest, whom some may know as David Wood, others may know as Dawood, and some might know as the Dizzle.
And everyone knows as
Precisely.
welcome to the Screaming Goats podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The Screaming Goats
Welcome,
podcast.
Screaming Goats.
Who wouldn't watch a show called the Screaming Goats podcast?
We should definitely do that, man. We need a show that's
Definitely
called
do
the
that.
Screaming
We
Goats.
finally got the perfect name.
Yeah, the Screaming Goats podcast. Speaking of goats, so I was just preparing. I was just getting ready. I was just setting things up here, and as I was putting my laptop down, like I'm moving it around. As I was putting it down, I did something wrong here, and accidentally knocked a few things over from my desk, which I used yesterday on the screen, and they broke. I witnessed violence firsthand right here. And one of those things that broke is this Muhammad statue. And
there can be only one reaction to that.
As I was setting up my stuff, this fell down, and I look on the ground, and I see, oh, what is going on? And so the wing here broke apart. The Muhammad can no longer fly. Then the horn fell apart. I still don't know where the rest of the horn is. Then this weird flame thing at the top fell apart. I don't know.
The Lord has spoken.
I feel like there might be some divine message here with this, because this doesn't just happen. This doesn't just happen.
Hey, if a couple more parts fall off of it, you could say it's Allah. if the left arm falls off and you glue it onto the right side and so on, you could actually make an Allah out of that thing.
That's a good point. For those wondering why I have this statue, I know people always ask. It's because this is actually a statue of Muhammad. Some people might know it as Baphomet, but it's actually Muhammad. That's what it is. For further context, I will probably explain sometime. Yeah, David, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
I wanted to say that it's a divine message, but you know what also happened here? Like I also had a Buddha sitting here, and Buddha lost his head as well. Like,
the Lord has spoken.
Well, this is clear. This is Islamic. This is an Islamic message. This just strengthens my idea that Islam might be true, and I'm thinking of reverting right now, because who else beheads things like this?
Strike at their
Anyway.
necks.
Yep. All right. So what's up, David?
What's going on? Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff has come out just in the past couple days, man.
You see,
like too much to even respond to.
Yes, that's
true.
There's
like 20 interesting shows that people are asking us to comment on.
Yeah, too many interesting shows. Today we are going to look at one of those interesting shows. David, are you aware of these people whose names are fresh and fit, as they were named by their parents for some weird reason?
Yeah, I have to say, I've never seen anything good from these guys. The last thing I saw from that dude on the left was him freaking out because someone had like leaked a message of his partner. I forget which one's fresh and which one's fit, but someone had, that's the other dude right there on the right there. But someone had leaked, I think it was a message from him where he's telling a girl to have an abortion, and these guys are acting like they're all about, being responsible men and things like that. And then, so anyway, so that was one issue. But then people called out the other dude and were telling him, hey, what's your take on this? And he gave the most epic tantrum I've ever seen. I'm talking like kids included, kids flailing around on the floor because they didn't get candy included. I've never seen a meltdown like that. I've been to multiple mental hospitals where I've seen people just completely lose it and melt down. I've never seen a meltdown like that. And these guys are like the strong representatives of masculine manliness now.
Very, very masculinity. Very
Of course.
masculine.
Oh boy.
We've been through hell together. You know who was around me the whole fucking time? These fucking guys. So
These guys right here, man. These guys right here.
Anywhere. I'm gonna stand by the guys that stand by me. Cause you fucking piece of shit aren't fucking there when I'm going through it. You piece of shit aren't fucking there when I'm
Anyway, so yes, those are precisely the people that we're talking about. Fresh and fit. I'm not sure. I think this guy. I think his name is Myron. I know that, but
Myron sounds right.
please inform me if Myron is fresh or Myron is fit and the other is fresh. I don't know. It sounds like something that you come up when you were a little child or so.
Yeah.
Just kept...
Hey, I'll be fresh. Let's have a rap duo, and I'll be fresh, and you'll be fit. Yeah, let's do that.
Oh yeah, and we'll be famous one day. Well, they did become famous, so that's one thing. It would work. Fake name said he's on cocaine. Yep. Not sure who you're talking about, me or him, because both cases it could or could not. Actually, I have never done cocaine, so just kidding. So we want to review a debate that happened between Destiny and Sulaiman.
The whole
Ahmed.
thing is only 50 minutes.
Well, here is the thing. This debate has 3 sections.
Oh, okay. So there's more to it.
So there is Islam the Future? Was October 7 a terrorist attack? And Sneeko and Age of Consent.
But that's all within 50 minutes.
What do you mean? No. Islam is the Future is 15 minutes long. Then was October.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, the whole debate is a 50-minute video. What I'm saying is, like,
you said 50. Okay.
Yeah, 50.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like sometimes like there'll be a debate, and I'm assuming it's going to be like a 3 or 4 hour debate, and I'm just not going to click on it unless I'm really interested in it. And this one, I didn't know if I was going to watch it, but 50 minutes I would watch it. I'm interested enough to watch a 50-minute video.
Yes.
So okay, that's cool. I'll probably check it out then.
The stream is like 2
We're
hours,
about to check it out right now.
long on Fresh and Fit's Rumble channel, but it's I think most of it is just yapping, and 50 minutes is the debate. So yeah.
All right. Well, Sulaiman will fit right in with these guys.
Sully boy.
Sully.
Sulaiman, for those who don't know, I don't know, maybe they will introduce them, but is one of the most unreliable people on the internet.
He's like on the top 10 list of people with who get community noted constantly for saying the wrong stuff. He's like top 10 list.
Yes,
top 10 on all of Twitter for getting exposed in community notes. He's also a dude who before he focused almost entirely on declaring war against Jews. Before that, he was primarily, I mean, at least based on what I saw, he seemed to be pretty dedicated to defending Andrew Tate by harassing and digging up dirt on the victims to try to silence them and so on. Pretty slimy, evil, sick dude.
Yes, this account here, community notes violating people, actually regularly posts top 10 accounts with the most community notes. The last one published on April 16th was Illuminati bot number 1, Concerned Citizen, and so on. Jackson Hinkle number 4, of course. And then
noticing a pattern here.
Yeah, Sulaiman Ahmed here at number 9.
Hey, get it together, Sulaiman. We can get you to number 1, buddy.
Yeah,
you need to post more lies like you've been doing. Post more. You're not even keeping up, man. You could be number 1. Number 1. Trust me, bro. It'll be the only thing you could ever possibly be number 1 at in your entire life.
And the guy is just he is one of those people who don't care at all about facts, who don't care at all about truth. He's just a propagandist who just posts whatever serves his agenda, whatever whatever sounds cool or sounds good to him to support his side, whether it's true or not. And he gets community noted so many times, and he doesn't even acknowledge that he was actually wrong. He's like, "What? Okay, yeah, but I'm still right. The point still stands, and the Jews are trying to community note me." He was actually talking about how the Jews are controlling the community notes.
That's funny because that's funny.
Well, he of course he was saying Zionist, but we all know what they mean when they say
Yeah,
Zionist.
we know.
So he was actually, in fact, that would be a funny thing to look at while we're talking about this community notes. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that he actually. I mean, I didn't even have to look very far.
And then he gets community noted on that.
Yeah.
Evidence community notes is Zionist controlled and targets pro-Palestinian accounts. Both the Zionist twins and I used the same image for illustrative purposes. I was community noted and he was not. This system has been completely gamed and controlled by Zionists. Now, I don't even know what the community note's going to say, but I would predict that if someone else didn't get called out for the same thing, it's probably because the algorithm picks up on Sulaiman constantly getting community noted, right?
Yeah, and what happens here actually is, so this account makes a post and has in 17 hours only 336 likes, 148,000 views. The community notes haven't reached it, or not enough were made, and so on. His tweet probably had significantly higher exposure, and thereby immediately people who contribute with community notes and votes. That's why that. But he, of course, he doesn't take that into consideration. He just this is clear proof. The Jews.
It's proof. Let's see. Many users. What's a community note? Many users on X can write community notes. The writing ability is assigned randomly to users who've signed up to the program. It's not controlled by anyone. No, it's the Jews. Like Elon has a room full of Jews, rabbis.
Our community note's going to allow us to post who did 9/11. No community note, by the way. That's funny. Community Israel manipulates community notes and so on. Anyway, so this guy is a complete joke. But aside from that, of course, we don't want to talk trash about this wonderful person who is going to now do a debate and show to us that Islam is the future. Let's look
Islam. I believe that Islam is the future. That's how the song goes.
Nice reference.
32 minutes or 2:30, right, to go ahead and give their full stance and then get uninterrupted, and then other individual will go ahead and give their full stance uninterrupted, and then we can go ahead and.
What in the world is that noise?
What?
You hear that too, right? There's this cracking.
Do a back and forth after the first round, at least when the stances are made. The first topic.
If it's just his mic or the other guy's.
I wonder if it's just.
It's still audible.
First round, at least when the stances are made. The first.
Yeah, I also downloaded the version directly from Fresh and Fit, and it has the same noise. So, I just have to continue.
Yeah, they just have a crab sound guy.
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing? Yo, we are so familiar with y'all. We forgot to introduce y'all ninjas. Yo, Desi, I'll start with you, man. Can you introduce us to the people for the people that have been living under a rock?
Yeah, I do.
That's life. That's what all the people say. That's life, man. Just got to put up with it. They have crap audio. They got crap audio. We can still hear them. We can still hear what they're saying.
Joshua said $100 courtesy of Arnell Letic. He educated me today. Apparently, Aisha wasn't 9. They don't start counting until after puberty.
Yeah,
you see. So 12
they make claims like that. Yeah.
12 minus 14 plus 9. This is the proof you're finished.
Yeah, they do make things up like that are made specifically for people who don't know any better to go, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Whereas if you actually read the passages, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
make no sense. 12 to 14 plus 9, so she's in her 20s. Really, playing with dolls, playing on a swing, and prepubescent, as the sources say. She's prepubescent in her early 20s. Interesting.
It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely.
No, they only mean prepubescent if you count from after puberty. So, once a girl reaches puberty, then you start adding numbers to it. If those numbers are the age of a person who, if you didn't factor in the fact that we're already talking about after puberty, if the number of years after puberty would be the number of years of someone who would still be prepubescent, if you weren't using this complex Arabic number system, then you can call her prepubescent, even though she's in her 20s.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, that's
Mental
not how
gymnastics.
any of this works. This is complete nonsense, complete garbage. The hadiths clearly say that she was 6 years old at marriage and
Yeah.
9 years old at consummation. So, and it describes her as a girl who hasn't reached puberty, and then at some point who apparently it is implied probably does reach puberty at some point. We don't know exactly
Yeah, because she
when.
starts talking about Muhammad molesting her during her
Yeah.
menses and stuff.
Yeah, and
Hey,
yeah, unless you want to, of course, accept that she was probably like she was, I don't know, she reached puberty. Wait, this doesn't even make sense. It makes no sense
it
at all.
doesn't.
Anyway,
It
continue.
makes zero sense, dude. Yeah, what you can, guys, when someone says something like that, when someone makes that kind of claim, oh, the way the Arabs counted was they started counting a person's age after puberty. Oh, okay. So when the Muslim sources say that Khadija was 40 when she married Muhammad and started having kids with Muhammad, then that's actually calculated from puberty. So let's say she reached puberty when she was 10, then she was actually 50 when she married Muhammad and then had all those kids. That's a record. That's a record to have all those kids after the age of 50. But guys, whenever someone says something like that, because you'll hear this all the time, and all they're doing is making it up or regurgitating it from someone who made it up. But there's no scenario where this is actually authentic. And so when people say this, you don't have to argue with them. Just say, show me that.
Show me proof.
Show me proof. Show me. Where are you getting that from? I'd like to see where you're getting that from. Interesting. You can even say, hey, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with that. Could you actually show me that? Because people make stuff up. I just want to make sure that it's actually authentic. So show me that from the Muslim sources. Show me that from the Quran. Show me where the Hadith says that you don't start counting a person's age until after puberty. Show me that. Because otherwise it sounds like you're just saying it.
And then compare the
And
evidence.
I like to, and you don't want me to just believe. Yeah, you don't want me to just believe what people say, right? You want me to. We all want to go where the evidence points. So you obviously have looked into this, so you know what the evidence is. So show me the evidence that convinced you.
Yeah, Alex Al said AP looks pale today. Ashkenazi confirmed. Definitely, yes, definitely. As
Go
everyone
back to
knows,
Europe.
Go back to Poland.
Go back to Europe, where you come from.
This is a funny trend. There, I see lots of Jews who look more Middle Eastern than lots of Arabs post selfies of themselves saying, "Go back to Poland." just making fun of that stupid trend. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's have a look at
in philosophy on YouTube. I'm far left or far right, depending on who I'm arguing with. And today we're going to talk about my Islamophobia.
Funny. He said I'm far left or far right, depending on who I'm arguing with. And then he talks about Islamophobia. Oh boy, he's funny.
He goes in.
Welcome to the show, Destiny.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
I'm Sulaiman. I'm on Twitter. I investigate certain things, and yeah, same topics: politics and philosophy and theology.
What in the
I didn't know
hell
what
is his accent?
I didn't know what I never knew what he sounded like. I only knew him from his tweets. But what?
I genuinely, anyone know what his accent? What is this accent? I don't get it. What? It sounds atrocious. It sounds like it shouldn't exist. And I say this completely without any. I mean, you can have a completely ridiculous, horrible person there with a great accent, right? Or vice versa. But what in the world is this? What is this?
Yeah, his accent's so stupid. Russell Brand right now is like, what kind of stupid accent is that? Yeah, isn't it?
Jack G said Bradford, England. Okay. Sounds Indian English, says
They just
North
I just saw Tommy Robinson posted a thing about Bradford where they went full Islamist in the election.
Beautiful. That's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. First question, guys. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to start the timer here. We'll start with Destiny's kicking it off. Open-ended question: is Islam the path? And I'll just leave it open-ended, and you can go ahead and take it how you want.
The path to what?
Champion.
Hell, yeah. Destruction, chaos, terror, yeah.
Yeah, I understand
Pedophilia.
asking the question and leaving it like that, but that's a little bit too open, and isn't it? Like,
Is Islam? Yeah, Destiny should have said it. Is Islam the path? The path to pedophilia? Yeah. Next question. That's exactly what he should have
is
said.
Islam the path to hell? Yeah. Man.
Is Islam the path to the destruction of Western civilization? Yes.
Yes.
Is it the path to a number of Sharia-compliant hellholes that no one wants to ever live in and people have to then flee? To other places, yes. So yeah, we need more. Need to know more about. You got to say exactly the path to what, Myron.
Yes,
Come on,
yes.
this is basic.
American-
This is basic stuff.
Yes.
Liberal democracy. I think that people like to push certain religions because things become trendy over time. But I think the important thing to keep in mind is right now, America runs the world. We don't just run it militarily. We don't just run it economically. We also run it culturally. And I think the reason why is because our values allow so many different types of people to come here. Like, just look at the four of us, around this table. Like, how many people here are from other countries or whose parents were immigrants? Like, the only country in the world where all of these different types of people, different types of religions, different types of ideologies can come together and then form a business in a capital free investment environment and then broadcast that to the entire world on American invented technology is the United States of America. No Islamic country has done that. Ottoman Empire fell. Nobody's replaced it since. None of these Islamic countries are able to take as much culture as we have and kind of like mix them all together in the way that the United States has. And I worry sometimes that people that champion certain types of religions do so in kind of a militant way and do so in a bit of an exclusionary way as well. For instance,
This is exactly what he means when he says far right or far left. To depends on who you ask or who you're talking to. I can see that from a leftist perspective, or from a I don't know, general or far leftist perspective, just what he says here might sound very very problematic, colonialist, imperialist, but he's proud of it. And this is why I love Destiny. He's based. He doesn't care. He's proud of it.
We're proud of that.
That's why everyone loves density.
Yes. He's very he likes density. He does density very well.
You should be able to make fun of anybody who you want. I think that you guys probably agree with that here more than anybody else. I agree with it on my platform, obviously. A lot of Muslim people don't agree with it. In France, when they did the Charlie Hebdo drawings of Muhammad, there were people that broke into that comic facility and they killed people because they were so upset that, people drew the Muhammad, Salah, whatever you say, praise be upon him, and they decided to go in.
I didn't catch this the first time. Wait a minute. Why does he have to be so disrespectful?
Hey, it's funny, by the way. Hey, Destiny, just so you know, that sallallahu alaihi wasallam is actually isn't that actually prayers of Allah be upon him? That's not the word for peace. I think that's prayers of Allah be upon him.
Yeah, it depends. Greetings, prayers, peace. Sallallahu, so that would be greetings or prayers. Yeah,
prayers of Allah. Yeah, it's not salam.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's
broke into that comic facility and they killed people because they were so upset that people drew the Muhammad, Salah, whatever you say,
Salah the hood, Salah the hood, whatever. That's actually better. That's actually better. Like completely just distorting and then say whatever.
It's funny because he doesn't even have to say it. He's just doing it for fun there and then saying whatever the you say.
You know what he just reminded me of there. I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, classic. So you've got Clint Eastwood movie, spaghetti western, but Eli Wallach, who's a Jew playing a Mexican, but he would do the Catholic sign because he's Catholic, but he's also like murderer, and he doesn't know exactly how it goes, so he just kind of go whenever he's doing it, he'd go like that. Like he didn't know actually doing it. He'd go, yeah. And then he'd go on. But that reminded me of him, the Salaf over there.
That's pretty much the spirit here. But just because Destiny didn't say it, here it is.
That's how you say it, Destiny. Put that on your soundboard.
Yeah, learn something, Destiny. Learn it. Say it exactly like this. Yeah, just do it.
Praise be upon him, and they decided to go and kill the dude, killed multiple people in that attack. So I don't like the fact that for the people that champion Islam, it seems like they do so in an exclusionary manner, that everybody has to be Islamic, that everybody has to be part of their religion, and that they can attack and kill people who disagree with their religion. Because I think one of the most beautiful things about the United States is the fact that we can tell a Cop to fuck off, that we can tell a Christian to fuck off, that we can tell a Muslim to fuck off, that we can draw whatever we want, make fun of whatever we want, make porn out of whatever the fuck we want. And I would think that that is the coolest thing in the United States, and I think that that's what allows us to even do what we're doing here today. And I don't think any Islamic country or Muslim majority country has been able to achieve the world domination that the United States has when it comes to military, economy, and most importantly, culture.
We're dominating
way,
the world, baby.
By the way, I mean, this may be brilliant. I don't know if he's intending it this way, and I don't know. Like, he understands, so he's on the Fresh and Fit podcast. He's talking to an Islamist. All these guys respect his strengths. I don't know if it's like planned. He's going to build his entire cases of the United States being dominant and controlling everything else. You see, we're strong, right? We're stronger than you. Our system has made us stronger than you, and you're weak, and we're strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's like intentional. Like, he understands he's dealing with people who have this mindset of we're stronger than you. What are you talking about? We dominate you. We dominate you. You come to us and we control you. We can bomb you into anytime we want.
That's based. That
maybe. In other words, I don't know. I don't know if like if he were talking to someone else, maybe he'd have a different case. But he's talking to a Muslim. I don't know if he like dials up and it's just we're dominant, you're weak.
Yeah,
interesting.
But this is the right approach. It's a good approach. It's like and this is what I like about how he argues with these people, which is that he doesn't argue from a he is not submissive or defensive. He says precisely what he thinks. Where America for a reason is influential in the world. For a reason is influential in its own culture over the people who come to America. I mean, the whole world looks at America. The whole Middle East, Europe, Africa, Asia watches America, adopts culture from America, adopts ideas from America, and so on. Not just by force. There are some people who say, "Oh, America is trying to dominate us. If we do something wrong, then America will come and will occupy and all that." No, they want to do it. They want to adopt American culture. America is, and some critics or opponents call this cultural imperialism, but it is not done because America forces people to. It is done because America just has a superior culture. That's what it is.
And now for Sulaiman's response. I now rest my airtight case.
That was good. That was beautiful. That was beautifully spoken. Mankind's Prophet made £100 of super chat and said enough said. Thank you, Mankind's Prophet. Appreciate it very, very much.
Wait, does he mean Mankind the Rustler, as in Mick Foley? Cactus Jack, Dude Love, that guy, that Mankind, or like Mankind in general?
No, he's just Mankind.
Oh, okay.
But here we would like to say people kind. So that's that. Based America said Assyrian Titan. Rob Dog said, yeah, that Jew mocks your faith, but I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know if you're referring to Destiny here, but Destiny, pretty sure, is not Jewish.
Yeah, that Jew.
Just because he has
that Jew Destiny.
Just because his hair is like that doesn't mean he's Jewish.
But look at him, he's
right.
He's pale.
He's smart and he speaks fast. That means he must be a Jew.
He's smart and he speaks fast. Ben Shapiro is smart and he speaks fast.
He's more intelligent.
Ben Shapiro's a Jew, so Destiny must be a Jew too. Thus, following Sneeko's reasoning, if a Muslim prays with his forehead to the ground and a Christian does, then the Christian's a Muslim.
Yeah, he's more intelligent than me. I'm not as intelligent. That means he's a Jew. How else do you explain this? Yeah.
Right, that's 2 minutes on the dot. Okay, thank you, Destiny. Sulaiman, I'll turn it to you, my friend.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, I agree with his analysis of America, right, and American culture in current times. When he's mentioned about advancements, that's right in current times, but then obviously that's failing and it's ignoring the entire.
Is he going to actually argue that Islam has done this contributions? And if we go back to the golden age of Islam, and Islam invented algebra and coffee and all this other nonsense that's been exposed like a trillion times?
He will probably do that. I'm just trying to figure out what he's saying, because at some point I can't.
And they invented the camera phone. I saw that in the video.
Mentioned about this of America, right, and American culture in current times. When he's mentioned about advancements, that's right in current times, but then obviously that's failing and it's ignoring the entire history, right? So what that demonstrates is you don't need to be a specific culture or religion, because if you look at history, it was many of.
What in the hell? I'm serious. This is not even just about him. Who talks with such an accent? Please don't do that. I can't even failing understand.
You don't need to be a specific culture or religion, because
What is a culture?
It's
He said
culture.
culture.
It's culture.
He did the Arabic literal K sound into the culture.
If you look at history, it was many of the advancements that were made both in science, culture, literature, the Renaissance in terms of Greek philosophy, theology, science. All of it came from the Islamic civilization.
All of it came from the Islamic
Wow.
civilization, you compulsive lying moron.
Are you retarded? Whoa.
Give us some examples, Sully. We want to hear them.
I have heard throughout my entire life. We have all heard it throughout our entire lives. We have heard, Islam made contributions to culture and science and literature and this and that. But what in the world is this? I've never heard somebody make this big of an exaggeration of the influence of Islam. Did he just mention the Renaissance? He mentioned the Renaissance. He mentioned Greek philosophy. And let me see. What else?
Obviously, that's failing and it's ignoring the entire history, right? So what that demonstrates is you don't need to be a specific culture or religion, because if you look at history, it was many of the advancements that were made both in science, culture, literature, the Renaissance in terms of Greek philosophy, theology, science. All of it came from the Islamic civilizations. So
all of it came from the Islamic civilization.
Greek philosophy came from the Islamic civilization.
The Renaissance came from the Islamic civilization. Literature, the advancements in literature.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Gotta open my other thing here. Open my notepad. My notepads here. So
yeah, guys, there are two kind of main problems here. So one, when people say these things came from Islam, just start looking into the actual origin of the thing. It's the same issue I mentioned earlier when someone says, oh yes, the Arabs only started counting the age after puberty. Okay, show me that first. Show me that before we continue this discussion. Show me that. Same thing if you say literature, science, culture, Greek philosophy or whatever, and the Renaissance came from. Stop right there. Show me that. But so that's one issue. So that's one issue, right? One issue right there. The other issue. So first of all, bull, absolute bull. But two, even if that were true, why didn't it last in Islam? So if you want to say that, yes,
because the Jews stole it.
Yeah, that's what you want to get them to. If you want to say, okay, 1100 years ago, Islam was this great fount that gave rise to the Renaissance and the scientific revolution and math and Greek philosophy and all this, and Islam produced all this stuff. Why did it die out so quickly? And then it took off everywhere else except the Islamic world. And then just the Islamic world somehow suffocated it. Why? Because they can't say that it's a problem with Islam. They can't say it's because Islam just suffocates these things. So they have to blame someone. They're either going to blame the Jews or they're going to blame the West or they're going to blame someone. And so, okay, so Islam is actually weak and flourished for a little bit, which that's even granting that they've successfully answered the first part. But it never lasts in Islam. It lasts in other places. Other places flourish and keep flourishing. And Islam, it just never lasts. It's something about Islam suffocates it. So you have to blame Jews.
Yes. And we know that Aristotle was actually Aristotle. Socrates was actually Socrates. And so on. Yeah.
That they weren't backward. They were actually visionary in the past. Obviously, things develop and change. In terms of Islam being exclusionary, that's completely not true. Like Islam within or totalitarity allows all religions.
Totalitarity?
Psychology.
Did he say totalitarity? What? This guy's a lawyer? He's a lawyer who just said totalitarity?
I really wasn't prepared for how terrible this would be. Oh my God!
You need to put totalitarity on your soundboard. But it's totalitarity.
But he actually says that Islam accepts all cultures and enjoys.
Yeah, that's what it does. That's what it does. That's why Muhammad said in Sahih Muslim, "I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any there but Muslims," because he wants this all face intertwined working as one.
Yes, Islam allows all cultures. Well, this is too much, man. I don't know how we're going to get even. So the first,
you're not going to get through 10 minutes of this, man.
Islam brought everything That is his first issue. His second issue is Islam loves everything. Islam allows all cultures. All right, man, this is just so bad.
In terms of what he's talking about in terms of freedom, I'm for all the freedom. The problem is we're seeing in real time that this propaganda no longer works, because in reality we've seen it. You speak against Judaism, you speak against Zionism, and they completely want to censor you. You're not allowed to mention.
Like
Really?
you're doing right now.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This guy and all his buddies complain about Jews all day, every day. And what did X do? She said, "Hey, let's bring back the king of it, Nick Fuentes. Let's bring him back up." They're platforming people who hate Jews.
Look at this. Sheikh Sulaiman. I'm just searching for Zionism, like the simplest term here. Zionism. Endless posts every day, all day.
This is the proof. Look how we've been silenced. Look how we've been silenced here. This is the proof that we've been silenced. Isn't it amazing? I just find it amazing, like the complete disconnect from reality. Everywhere I freaking look, all I see is Jews. And then simultaneously with that, it's, why aren't we allowed to complain about Jews? How come we're not allowed to complain about Jews? Jews are stopping us from complaining about Jews.
Look at this. You can actually never see these things publicly. I have secret access to all of this. All of this is censored. I have secret access to all of this because I work together with the Jews. But otherwise, whenever you criticize Jews, you get censored, and all of this is hidden by the Jews. Only I can access this right now because I have favors with the Jews. I mean, but let's be serious here. People like these, they talk all day about Jews and Judaism and Zionism and praise Islamic terrorism, praise Hamas, and so on, and nobody does anything about it. Right? But you have not just anti-Zionist, anti-Jewish memes. You have like literal Nazi propaganda on Twitter, meanwhile, and nobody does anything about it. You have them posting hook-nosed Jew cartoons. Nobody does anything about it at all. You have them making jokes and wishing for a Holocaust or denying the Holocaust. Nobody does or says anything about it. Nick Fuentes is now back on Twitter, and so on. People actually openly praise Hitler. These tweets, these posts are still there. Nobody censors it. What in the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah, they're like Sulaiman, that Dr. Loomis, whatever, Jake Shields, all the groypers spend all day, every day whining about Jews, and then again simultaneously complaining that they're not allowed to complain about Jews, and Jews are obviously controlling the system, which is why they're not allowed to do what they do all day, every day.
They make posts saying, they won't let us talk about Jews. They won't let us talk about Zionists. And those posts get 60,000 likes. Not even realizing the irony right there.
Yeah. Yeah, while simultaneously believing that Elon Musk actually has a room full of Jews at X headquarters that are pulling the strings on all this. Man. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like guys, if you didn't know anything else about this guy or what he represents, just hearing this, you should be like, this guy's a delusional freaking nutcase.
Yes. This is just ridiculous. It's a complete lie, completely twisting the truth. It's disgusting.
Mention the Holocaust in certain countries because you're going to be locked up, put in the and they completely want to censor you. You're not allowed to mention the Holocaust in certain countries because you're going to be locked up, put in the gulags. You're not allowed to right now.
You can't mention the Holocaust. Which country can you not mention the Holocaust in?
Gulags. Okay, he has one point here, which is, yes, there are countries which actually make it punishable or illegal to say certain things, like denying violent events against.
No, he said. Didn't he say mention the Holocaust?
Yeah, he did. But we know what he means.
I want to know which country that is.
Well, we know what he means. Like in the UK, for example, or in Germany. I mean, I know Germany very well. Germany, obviously, because of the history.
Yeah, you darn right you do.
If you meddle with the history and you deny the Holocaust or justify it and so on, you get in trouble with the law. So that is one real thing. But this is really his example. This is really his one. This is actually the only example that he could bring of being censored for saying something. I'm really wondering what else he will bring.
Now, in the United States, you can't even do BDS in 34 states because of Zionism. So as much
Bullshit. Absolutely false. So BDS boycotting Israel. He says you can't.
Oh,
you
I
can't
thought it was
even do it.
I thought it was some weird sex stuff because I don't know what this guy's into. But every time I hear from a Dala guy, it's all golden showers and feeding each other grapes and crap like that. So I thought you can't even do this. And I'm thinking, oh, what is this weird, creepy stuff you're into that you're not allowed to do when you come to the United States?
You can't even do BDSM in the United States. But no, so he's not talking about sex fetishes. What he's talking about is the BDS named Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Campaign, which is an organized pro-Palestinian and pro-terrorist movement to encourage people to stop buying and stop trading with Israel. However, he is lying because when he says you can't even do this in so many US states, what he actually means is not that you are not allowed to do it or that you will get in trouble with the law. What he means is that certain states in the United States have passed laws according to which if a company, for example, engages in targeted boycotts like this one, like boycotting Israel, they will lose certain rights, like government funding or tax relief and things like that. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. So you don't get imprisoned or arrested or fined or whatever it is. It is just about withdrawing fundings or relief and things like that. That's all it is. This is what he means when he says you can't even do it.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that being something perverted and what it could possibly mean. And I was like, well, what would it stand for then? He's complaining. Did you know that in the United States, you're saying that it is this free place, but we can't even do what we do back home called BDS, which is banging the sheep. We're not even allowed to do that in 34 states. You call this a free place? Back home, we're all about banging the sheep, and you can't do it in 34 states.
Yeah.
We call it BDS.
So you have an example here. For example, let's see. We have certain maps which have, and by map I mean I'm referring to actual maps, a visual of countries, not to Islamic apologists who are minor attracted people. So here, for example, we have an example from the state of Illinois. It says, signed a historic legislation making Illinois the first state in America to divest its public pension funds from companies that participate in the boycott, sanctions, divestment movement targeting Israel. So this is what he's talking about. To divest its public pension funds from companies that participate in the in the boycott, sanctions, divestment movement targeting Israel. This is what he means when he say in America you can't even boycott. He's actually equating this to not being allowed to criticize Islam in a certain country and going to jail or being imprisoned, for example. This is just so stupid, man.
And even do BDS in 34 states.
I don't do BDSM.
Because
not allowed to bang the sheep.
So as much as he wants to say it's not, and when you look at extremism, yes, there are extreme elements within Islam. One isn't going to deny that. But from a proportionate perspective, we've seen it, the extremism that's happened within Zionism. And so extremism is bred from.
What is the extremism in Zionism?
They want to live. That's extreme. We want them not to live. They say, no, we get to live. This is the extremism of Zionism.
He's saying we've seen it as if we have talked about it and established a certain fact. That's not how it works.
From different ideas, cultures, and it's even from atheism. We've seen the huge amount that's happened in terms of atheism. So extremism is everywhere. Now, in terms of Islam, I've got no issue with people being Muslim, Christian. They can be what they want, right? No problem whatsoever. My issue is when there's dual standards. So someone like Destiny feels pretty chill about attacking Muslims. No problem. All good. As long as you're willing to debate the ideas, right? But the same type of people basically lose their minds if you're willing to talk about Judaism. They'll call you anti.
Why in the... This has nothing to do with the topic at all. And why is he talking to Destiny?
Is Islam the future?
And he's talking to Destiny because he's supposedly responding to Destiny's point about being free to discuss and being free to criticize and having an open society like that and so on. And then he's talking about how I personally don't have a problem at all with people saying whatever they want about Islam, but I have a problem with the double standards. Like as soon as you talk about a different religion like Judaism, who does that? Destiny doesn't do it. He's your opponent here in this conversation. Secondly, why in the world is this relevant? Why in the world is this relevant to the conversation about
Is Islam
Islam
the future?
that we are having?
Yeah. Guess what? Destiny's point. He could have argued in like 37 different ways. He chose to say, in effect, that whatever we have in the West has made us very powerful and very prosperous, way more powerful and prosperous than you. And therefore, if we talk about something that's the future, it's not going to be you. You don't make powerful, prosperous places. You make crap holes, and then you have to come asking for handouts from Western nations. So whatever the future is, it's not you unless the future is a dystopia. And then this guy responds, but what about Zionism? Well, that's another example. They took a place and made it very powerful and prosperous. So powerful and prosperous that the entire Muslim world can't touch it. So it seems like they would be the future and not the people who are reduced to whining on college campuses and, well, if we can't fight you, then we'll go put a tent over here. Okay, what's your plan there? If I have a tent, I got a tent, and then I'm going to take a garbage can. I'm going to chop up the garbage can. I'm going to use it as a shield. I'm going to charge at police and get the crap beat out of me. Wait, what? These are the brilliant plans that come out from your position? Because this sounds insanely stupid, and it kind of explains a lot right now.
It does. But especially if you're going to talk to Destiny, you should probably not bring up this whole idea of, you can't even say anything about other religions or other ideas. Destiny is one of the last.
Yeah, doesn't he blast in all directions?
He does, and he also doesn't even even if you say the most messed up, most unacceptable things that are completely evil to him, he doesn't shut you down for it. He actually laughs about it and talks about it on his channel. So the guy is like the least pro-censorship guy.
They'll want to put you in jail. So there is the dual standards, and and Judaism has the same standards that Islam has. The only difference is
by the way, think about like the examples that he gave there, right? So his examples of it's dual standards. What is Destiny saying? Hey, if you criticize Muhammad, even in a Western society, you'll have jihadis coming and breaking into your place and slaughtering you in the name of Allah. I don't like that Islam does that. And his response is, but it is illegal to bring up the Holocaust in certain places. What he really means is to deny the Holocaust because they were coming up with methods of shutting down Nazis in a post-Nazi world.
Yeah.
Don't reestablish. They were so concerned about Nazis not regaining their ground that they're like, you even freaking start talking about this stuff, we've got a problem with you. There were reasons for it. If you want to say now, keep in mind, I'm from the United States of America. You can deny the Holocaust all day long. You sound like an idiot, but you can deny that all day long. So I'm not even a fan of the laws. But to compare that, guys, you cannot deny the Holocaust because we just had one here, and we're worried about Nazis sort of rising up again. So we're going to take care of that. Comparing that to like gunning down cartoonists.
Yes.
Weird comparison.
Plus, also the nature of the criticism or the mockery, whatever it is. So there's Destiny's example as drawing a Muhammad cartoon and then being gunned down by terrorists. The response to that by him is, you can't mention the Holocaust or you'll go to jail. Or you can't talk about Jews or you can't talk about Jewish people and they will be offended.
And by the way, wasn't it totally irrelevant? He said America.
Hold on. He's talking about how, so on one hand, you have mocking Muhammad. On the other hand, you have, for example, denying the Holocaust or demonizing Jews, for example, completely different things. So are Jews around the world going crazy because people are insulting their religious values or their religious beliefs? Are people making cartoons about Judaism, about Moses, about whatever it is, and Jews are trying to violently shut it down? Is Israel trying to violently crack down on people who criticize Judaism? No. Jews themselves, Israeli society itself is quite critical. Nobody cares. Jeez.
And I mean, isn't what he just said irrelevant? I mean, Destiny's example was America, right?
Yeah, he did
Didn't
bring.
Destiny say-
He did say that in America we can talk about everything. In Islamic societies, in general, this is not possible. Or Islam. He brought up the example of Charlie Hebdo, for example, which is in France. How
Yeah, but he's
can't
saying that's Islam. Like, I don't want that spreading because that's what that ideology does. He goes, here in
Yeah.
America, we can say what we want, and I like this. And then
Yeah.
Sulaiman brings up, but in some places you can't bring up the Holocaust. No, true,
That's
you can
true.
bring up the Holocaust. But he's saying, even if you wanted to say some country where you can't deny the Holocaust, you can deny. Again, this United, as far as Destiny's example, this America, you can deny the Holocaust all day here. Who's stopping you?
Yep, that's true. Hased TRH said you can't criticize the Talmud on YouTube. I have seen multiple
is that
videos.
joking?
No, this is actually serious because this guy is a complete idiot. I've seen multiple videos actually analyzing and criticizing and discussing the Talmud. I did see certain videos that were censored or that had notes on them, and those consisted of things that just took online memes of fake quotes and things like that and put them on the screen. That's it. Please show me an example where somebody actually made a video criticizing the Talmud and it was taken down. Show it to me.
Yeah.
Show it.
What this clown means is I had this video where I was talking about how we need to exterminate all the Jews because of what's in the Talmud. And then you see, I'm not allowed to talk about the Talmud. That's what he means.
Oh boy. But there's currently another war going on. I'm just distracted because I opened my YouTube tab and saw that the other war is in full swing between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And Kendrick Lamar just published a new song about it. People are going crazy. There's one war, which is the whole Israel-Hamas war, and then there's a more serious war right now, which is the Kendrick Lamar-Drake war. Not sure which one will lead to an all-out world war. We'll see.
Won't call them out, and obviously we know why. So when you say you run the world, I guess America does.
What do we know why?
And and Judaism has the same standards that Islam has. The only difference is someone like Destiny won't call them out, and obviously we know why. So when you say you,
nope, false. First off, pretty sure Destiny, if Judaism had such standards, wouldn't shy away from calling them out. But secondly, Judaism doesn't have the same standards. Okay, Judaism doesn't have the same standards. Judaism doesn't tolerate people going out there and actually violently shutting down people who insult Judaism, or I don't know, whatever it is. Or what standards are you even talking about? What standards even relevant to whatever Destiny just mentioned are you talking about? And yes, I've heard on multiple occasions, Clementine says that Destiny calls Jews out all the time. I've heard on multiple occasions Destiny talk trash about different beliefs, including Judaism and Jews. This is just so stupid, man.
You run the world. I guess America does from a covert perspective, but not from a covert perspective.
Okay. I'll turn it over to you.
Dude, did we hear one word about why Islam is the future?
Nope.
From Sulaiman?
Nope.
I mean, this is the point where Destiny could say, okay, well, I offered my case. He tried to respond a little bit and sounded stupid, but he offered absolutely no reason to think that Islam is the future. So I guess we're done here.
Yep.
Your response to that?
Yeah, there was the Islamic Golden Age. It came and it went. We got democracy from the Greeks. We got multiculturalism, and we got former expanded governments from Romans. We got the whole industrial age from Europe. We got the age of the Catholic Church. These civilizations come and they go, and we don't go back to them. Sometimes people have a lot to contribute to the world, and then we get those things, and then the world moves on. You just never turn around and go back. If there was such an Islamic Golden Age, and if Muslims contributed so much to the world and so much to world culture, why did they lose it all? What happened to it? Why don't we see them continue to dominate today? And so far as like in the United States, you can't make fun of Nazis, or you can't make fun of
I like the approach, actually. Instead of arguing against it, what he does is just let's assume it's true. What happened? And it's all in the past. So what's your point? Mm-hmm. Moving on. That's good, because it would be a complete waste of time to go into refuting that. This is smart.
Jews, or you can't make fun of whatever. You can make fun of whoever you want here. The laws will protect you doing whatever. That doesn't mean they'll necessarily get hosted on any platforms. But I mean, again, like, yeah, there might be some platforms that ban you if you say certain jokes here, but there are certain countries that I go to where if I walk around with just a picture of Muhammad, I don't have to worry about getting banned. I have to worry about getting beheaded. I think there's a significant difference there. I think I'd rather be worried about Susan coming after me on YouTube than I would be about Abdel coming after me to murder me because I said something about his religion that he
Look, Myron's laughing. Myron's laughing at this. Myron is supposedly sort of a kind of a non-practicing Muslim, and he's laughing at this. And
This guy doesn't
I
miss.
don't know which one's which, but Fresh and Fit are both laughing at Destiny's point there.
Mr. Borelli, Mr. Borelli, Mr. Borelli, please stop making sense.
yeah.
I think he said Abdul.
Abdel.
Okay. Your response to that?
So first of all, let's take the last one. So yeah, you may have to worry about Abdul basically being an individual who doesn't follow the rules of Islam and basically
Wait, who doesn't follow the rules of Islam? You mean who's actually carrying out the rules of Islam?
Yep.
That's what you mean. Because Muhammad ordered his followers once he was in a position of power. He told his followers, "Hey, here's a list of people who made fun of me. Go kill them. Even if they're clinging to the Kaaba, go kill them." And Muhammad allowed vigilante justice over people insulting him. So there's that famous hadith in Sunan Abu Dawud where a man had a slave girl who was the mother of two of his children, and she made fun of Muhammad, and he stabbed her to death, and the blood ran all over one of her kids. Muhammad found out that some woman had been stabbed to death, and he said, "All right, we're going to get justice here." And the guy came forward, "But Muhammad, she made fun of you." Muhammad said, "Oh, okay, no penalty then."
You forgot to
So
say
Muhammad thought that vigilante justice over people making fun of him was perfectly good. Sulaiman here, oh, no, this is not Islamic, even though it's exactly what Muhammad taught.
Very, 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 very much. There is some nuance. There is a middle ground here, or there is something that that could somewhat support what he's saying, but it actually doesn't really support what he's saying. Which is that later on, throughout Islamic history and Islamic jurisprudence, I know that in certain schools of Islamic thought, like in the Shafi school or the Hanafi school, for example, it is generally ruled that if an individual does something for which he deserves to be killed, like blasphemy or open apostasy or spreading corruption and so on, normally under the law, an individual is not supposed to go and kill that person. However, it is not considered haram and punishable by Allah to do such a thing. All there is, according to Sharia laws under different schools of thought, is if a Muslim individual goes and kills a blasphemer, for example, this is a misdemeanor, and the caliph or the law is supposed to bring this person to justice, and the punishment can then range from forgiving to reprimanding to small light punishments up to, I think, a few lashes. That's it. Just to discipline and to bring order and to say, we don't do that. Leave it to the law. However, it is not forbidden. It is not absolutely forbidden, and it's not haram to actually go out and do that yourself under Islamic law. Of course, there might be differences in different schools of thought in Sunni Islam, but this guy says that this is against Islam. It is not. There is no such thing.
And even if you gave the full benefit of the doubt and went the Ali Dawah direction like that and said, "Oh, but this is only in an Islamic state," Destiny's point would still remain. I don't want that to be the future. I don't want you guys to spread until you get to establish that system that completely suffocates any sort of open criticism, open discussions on these issues, and therefore don't like it. Don't like it at all.
That's the point, right? Because the Destiny is against such a society, and is and says that America is, for a reason, a successful culture, a successful society, because we don't do that kind of stuff here. We allow conversations to happen. When Sulaiman Ahmed then comes with the objection, well, of course, some Muslims go around killing people, but of course they're not supposed to do that because they're individuals. What's the point? It doesn't matter who carries it out. What matters is that Islam does not allow criticism. Islam does not allow free speech and free thought, which is why Islam is backward and dark and should be drained and flushed down the toilet.
Probably be worried about. First of all, let's take the last one. So yeah, you may have to worry about Abdul basically being an individual who doesn't follow the rules of Islam and basically has its ego, just like you'd probably be worried about Weinstein getting angry with you and stabbing you because you went against Judaism, or for example, if you're walking in Israel just because you're Christian getting spit on, or if you're basically a different.
Oh my God! Did he really?
AP. How many days did I walk around around Israel wearing a cross?
Every single day that we were there.
How many people so much as like gave me a dirty look, let alone spit on me?
0.
And he acts like, you're a Christian, you have to worry about walking around in a cross. I've been there twice for a total of about 3 weeks.
Nobody even cares.
Don't know what to do. Yeah, they do not care.
Nobody even cares.
They don't care.
If you have a cross, if you have a Star of David, if you have a moon, if you have...
And by the way, isn't it just interesting he flips everything back on the Jews?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
You guys go around chopping people's heads off, but you're not calling out the Jews for making a dangerous society where you can't walk down the street without being spit on if you're wearing a cross.
And Diana said yes, but AP already said you were soaked at the end of the day, David. Don't lie.
Yep,
this is true.
Soaked in spit. I was soaked.
This is true.
Spit.
The other day, when I was talking to the traveling collage, I did tell him that the whole time you were, like every single day, you were full of spit in the end, and you had to take a shower and change all your clothes.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
No, if this were actually true, you'd find all the creepy dudes with all the fetishes like Muhammad Hijab. And I mean, if he's got a urine fetish, he's probably got a spit fetish. And he's probably going to go over there and dress up like, I'm going to go wear a big cross so everyone spits upon me.
I should probably clip or make a video of it. But I talked about the whole issue of people saying, oh, in Israel, the Jews, they spit on you. I talked about that before. And what they're referencing is an extremely small group that is also extremely unpopular. And you can also see how unpopular they are when you see how Israelis interact with them. And I brought it right out here and showed on stream an instance of an ultra-Orthodox Jewish person of a certain sect saying that this is a tradition to spit, not, by the way, on Christians, but in the direction of them. And the vast majority of Israelis say this is disgusting and abhorrent and terrible. Stop this. That's it. This is equivalent to say, I mean, why in the world wouldn't now other people look at Muslims and look at one incident of ISIS, for example, and thereby say, look, this is what Muslims do.
Yeah, it's exactly what we should be saying. They've said all along for decades now, don't take what some Muslims do and say that's what Muslims do every step of the way. And yet any video of any Jew doing anything I've seen over and over again, you see, this is what Jews do. This is how David, how can you say this when this is how Jews treat Christians? Or any quotation by any Jew in history, but so-and-so said in the 7th century. So you see, this is what Jews believe. It's amazing stuff.
Alhamdulillah.
Israel just because you're a Christian getting spit on, or if you're basically
just because you're a Christian, by the way. Christians in Israel, Paul. Here, just Google it. A 2021 survey by CBS found that 84% of Christians were satisfied with life in Israel. But hey, ask this guy. Ask this guy how it is to be Christian.
No, Christians are walking around terrified because they know they'll get spit upon. That's what I saw in a video I shared.
A different religion, if you're a Muslim or Christian, being killed by Brett Weinstein or whatever the name is. So you've got this ideas in many cultures. In terms of what you said, of course, we received democracy from the Greeks, but you know how we got that information from the Greeks? It was from the Muslims. And you're right, civilization start and end. So in reality, your argument is this is the current civilization.
So David, we got, if it weren't for the Muslims, we would have never, ever gotten the information about democracy from the Greeks.
Bull.
He said it's true. So
Bull,
what are you talking
bull, double bull, triple bull, quadruple bull, all that stuff.
Well, see,
What the heck
you
is he
have-
even talking about? Exactly
you
like
have
what?
no
Muslim countries became democratic and then we copied them? No.
the Muslim
What-
countries
the-
preserved
the
the
only-
democratic writings, which is why we now know that there was such a thing as democracy in
only-
ancient Greece.
The only thing that you could possibly say in defense of anything, which doesn't get him within 1,000 miles of any idiotic thing he's saying, the European world kept the writings of Plato. So you go to like people like Augustine, and so they had they had early they had access to Plato. Aristotle did not become as popular as Plato. He sort of fell out and so on. And what you could say, and some of the other Greeks and so on. So what you can say is that Muslims, as they were invading countries and taking over, they were taking over those areas and their libraries and the things that their scribes were producing. And those writings were preserved by Jewish and Christian scribes. Muslims eventually took over those places, had access to the writings, and then they were eventually transferred. The ones that Europeans still didn't have access to were eventually transferred over there. I mean, just imagine pointing to that saying, you see, this is the great triumph of Islamic civilization.
Yeah.
We took some people's writings. Other people had come up with the thoughts. Other people had translated them. But then we conquered the area, so we had them for a little while. Yeah. And you see, this is our great contribution to the world.
Yeah. I did look up Plato.
And this is why Islam is the future.
Plato was only invented in 1956, so I don't really think that you're right on that one. However, for the rest, I would say that it seems quite accurate. Yeah.
Of course, we received democracy from the Greeks, but you know how we got that information from the Greeks? It was from the Muslims. And you're right, civilization start and end. So in reality, your argument is this is the current civilization. And based on your own argument, it will end. And actually, many historians say that the proletarians within any society become the dominant. And right now, according
What did he try to say? Did he try to say proletarians? What did he say?
Yeah, I think he combined like 5 words.
that the proletarians within
the proletarians.
I think
he's saying totalitarians and combining it with proletariat.
I think he's saying proletariat.
One argument, it will end, and actually many historians say
he's trying to say proletariat, but
that the proletarians within any society become the dominant. And right now, according to even historical literature, the proletarians are the Muslims. So this could be.
Yeah, I see why he sticks to Twitter, because this would not be a good lawyer in a court. And Your Honor, the proletarians of the proletarians, what I was saying, what I was, you know what I'm saying, Your Honor.
I don't even understand. Is he trying to say proletariats? Is he trying to say the plutonitarians? Is he to say that the totalitarians? What is he's?
It's the Plato. The proletariat Platotarians. Which part
I wish
did
he
you
would
understand?
clarify. I wish he would clarify. I mean, this is the first thing I went for as well, the proletariat. But he makes it all very complicated. I don't get it. I don't know what he means.
The society become the dominant, and right now, according to even historical literature, the proletarians are the Muslims. So this could be a situation where they
the proletarians are the Muslims. Proletarians.
They should. I'm not advocating that. I'm just from a historic perspective. When you're looking at civilizations come and fall.
Totalitarians. Your Destiny's Chat also doesn't get what he's talking about. This is fantastic.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is there is a completely honest, straightforward There's a
Look at this-
completely
Look at this commentary. It just says plot of
and then Triad says can't even talk in his own accent. We should be checking out the comment. But here's what's crazy, right? So the topic is Islam the future? And he has to do all these stupid gymnastics and make up all this stuff and completely misrepresent anything. There is a perfectly honest response to this where he could actually make a case, and that is to say, yeah, we've got the highest birth rates, we're replicating the fastest, and you're inviting us in, so we're eventually going to outnumber you, because even in your countries you invite us in and we have the highest birth rates, and do the math, we're eventually going to outnumber you, and when we do, we're going to establish Sharia. So yes, whether you like it or not, destiny, Islam is the future, you're screwed. That's what he could say. That's what he could say. I mean, I hope things don't turn out. I hope things don't turn out that way. But that is the only possible case you can make for Islam being the future.
People,
yes. You see what the Jews have done. Look, even here, the Zionists. What did they do? Look, I'm on Twitter, so you know they put the Neuralink in my head to make me ramble and stutter. Hey, yeah, you should be giving them the "Why you stuttering," dude. You should be hitting the "Why you stuttering" button like every 2 words he says.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Free protelataristine.
Free protelataristine.
I'm gonna change my username to something fun. Change it to protelataristines, something like that.
No issue. I'm not perspective when you're looking at civilizations. Civilizations come and fall. I have no issue. I'm not trying to advocate that Islam should take over. That's not my point. My specific point about it is whether you're able to, someone like Destiny, able to attack Islam, and he's fine. He even said, I hate Islam, sorry. But he would never say about, I hate Judaism, even though Judaism is much more extreme. Any problem someone like him would have with Islam, I've always explained. And
Sulaiman, I just want to say it's right here as well. I hate Islam. I don't hate Judaism. I hate Islam. I don't hate Christianity. Hope you're happy.
Islam, and he's fine. He even said, I hate Islam, sorry. But he would never say about, I hate Judaism, even though Judaism is much more extreme. Any problem someone like him would have with Islam, I've always explained and I've always shown that Judaism is much more extreme in all aspects.
Keep in mind, dude, seriously, the topic is Islam the future. Is Islam the future? And he just he keeps going right back to Jews, Israel, Jews, Judaism, Jews.
I wonder if Destiny will say anything about this because the conversation, as you said, is about the question was very clear. Is Islam the path? That's what Myron said. And Destiny talked from the beginning about how American society, for example, makes for an environment where we can freely exchange thoughts, where people are free to say and do whatever they want, and so on.
Are you allowed to say Islam you hate Judaism here in America?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Interesting.
Of course. And Islam doesn't do that. Islam is a oppressive, totalitarian society where there is no free speech and so on. And this will not be picked up. It will not advance society. And this guy is like, oh, okay, Judaism. This guy is just obsessed with Jews at the moment. But the other thing is also the claim that Judaism is much more extreme in every aspect. Complete nonsense. Okay,
yeah, that's idiotic.
Complete nonsense. And I will challenge anyone to debate me on that. I will destroy.
Do you agree to debate? Would you agree to debate Sully himself right here? Either on it could be on Modern Day Debate, or I'd be happy to host. Anyone who's ever said, "Oh, but you're biased." Anyone who's ever seen me moderate, I do not. I stick to the time limits. I don't interject my ideas. I say, "Okay, now it's your turn. Go." Now it's your turn. Go. So we can do this easily right here. Sulaiman, doors open. Doors open. You have an open invitation to debate the apostate prophet on this issue. I don't think he will, because he will crush you.
Is Judaism more extreme than Islam in every way? Yes or no? I'm happy. I'm waiting here for the debate, and I only have one thing to say.
You're finished already. Look at me. You know you're done.
Coward ain't gonna show up.
Devas. So yeah, in terms of YouTube being banned, so yeah, you can deplatform someone, you could take someone's voice away. That's one aspect. But also we've seen the genocidal nature of extremist regimes, whether it comes from all religions or no religions, and we've seen that in real time right now.
Again, what in the world does it have to do with the topic?
Yeah. Hey, you shouldn't have a problem with Islamic genocide because other groups have done genocide too. Everyone's doing it, Mom. Everyone's doing the genocide. So what's your problem with Islam doing it too?
Everyone else is doing it.
Everyone's doing it.
All my friends are doing the same thing. I want to do it too.
It's not a problem if everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
What's that follow-up
And
question?
just a final point. Just a final point. There's a reason why we're on YouTube discussing this right now, and we're going to be talking about Zionism in Rumble. So that says it all.
Okay.
Can
I'll
I
let you.
real
Yeah,
quick?
please
Yeah,
go ahead
just
and
real
then
quick.
I'll
Like,
follow the question.
I mean, I'll shit on Judaism, but the problem is not many people care. If I go online and I start talking about like, Jewish people like bite off foreskins or some shit when they circumcise kids, like every Jewish friend I have or every Jewish guy online will be like, yeah, that's pretty weird. We don't really do that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's what everybody will say. If I go online, I talk about like marrying or fucking 9-year-olds, or if I do like, here's a funny picture of Muhammad, AI generated, I've got like 5 million death threats in my inbox. It's not even remotely close.
Yeah. And that is, we've talked about this before as far as Destiny sort of zeroing in on like the most important feature, right? Suppose there's that group that goes around spitting on Christians. If for some reason they became very popular and expanded globally to where they're going around the world spitting on Christians everywhere they go, yeah, then I'd really, really, really have a problem with it. Keep in mind, I have a problem with it even in Israel. It's just like when I'm thinking about the list of things that I'm concerned about for me and my family and so on. Jihadis taking over and wanting to slaughter unbelievers in the name of Allah, pretty high up there on the list of things to be focused on. A hyper orthodox sect of Jews who spits in the direction of Christians and that most other Jews think is disgusting. Not very high up on my list of concerns. And so, but Destiny brought it up right there. Okay, Judaism. He doesn't agree with Judaism. He'd have all kinds of disagreements with Judaism. But if he's thinking about things that are going to affect him and affect the future of the world and like destroy society, Judaism isn't doing it. When is Judaism going to come and like destroy Western civilization? Not going to happen. Not now, ever. Is Islam, as far as the things that could potentially destroy Western civilization, one, you need factors inside, things that are weakening Western civilization from within. Two, you need something to come from outside and take advantage of that. Islam is pretty high up on the list of things that actually have the potential to do that. So what are you going to focus on? Jews, they spit.
Holy said, when is David Wood going to make another debate with Mr. Elijah? God is with us. Tomorrow, right?
We already just said if any of these guys want to debate, we're here.
Yes. Yeshua the King said, please educate Destiny on Islam. Pretty sure Destiny can educate himself very well on Islam, but I will have a chat with him probably this week sometime. Sam K said some jizya for David Quds and Apostate Rabbi. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Jace the Shepherd said, David, can you do a Myron impression? Also, Jesus is Lord.
No, I can't do it. I can't even think about what he sounds like right now.
Just cry. It's the same.
I have to listen to people for a while, and I'll eventually kind of pick up on the cadence of their voice and so on. But I can't in my head right now. I can't even think of what this guy sounds like.
On the Laugh with Nigerian Perspective today, she was 9 years old guy was arguing for some conspiracies about Jews, and Frank tried to reason with him. He seems like a nice, genuine dude, just a bit misguided. Really?
Oh, well, tell him to join us. We'll straighten him out.
Yeah, I will humiliate him. Katrina Flame said, David, Rationality Rules is coming after you too. LOL. Looks like the atheist like you. Oh yeah, did you see that? Rationality Rules.
Yes, I mean I saw it pop up in my feed. Rationality Rules, I don't think I've ever actually watched a video. There was one I wanted to use a while back, and I can't remember what it was about. Was it about Islam or something like this, or some other guy? Yeah, I've never seen a video by him, but yeah, I find it interesting because there was who was the guy who like a month ago posted a long video about me? Who was that? We've had him on before. What account was that?
Oh, that
The
was
blonde-haired dude. The blonde-haired dude.
Derek Myth Vision. Yeah.
Myth Vision. Yeah, so Myth Vision came at me. Still haven't checked that out. That one's long though. I think the Rationality Rules one is shorter and more manageable. But I think these are the guys who realize the tide is turning and people are starting to realize that all this nonsense they were spouting years ago is actually not working out. And they're trying to they're getting desperate like the Dawa guys. That's my perspective. I don't know. I haven't listened to what they said. But we will. It's just not the time. Guys, if you learned nothing from the movie Gladiator, remember the story about the sea snake that sits there calmly while things are nipping at it and waits. It waits. It waits.
Why are you taking everything as an offense? Maybe the guy was just trying to exercise some proper criticism.
it was on the thumbnail or the title or something like this. The worst apologist ever, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Said, I think you missed my last dono. Can you please read it? I don't see any last dono here. Oh yeah, I
where's the
actually
dono?
do. Said, I live in Hamburg. There was a big Islamist protest. I was finally able to talk to my co-workers about Islam and tell them how dangerous it is and just spill my knowledge about Islam. Alhamdulillah. Very, very, very nice. Very nicely done. That is the protest actually that we talked about recently. That was in Hamburg, where a group that is tied to Hizb ut-Tahrir actually went organized and supposedly protested against media bias against Islam, but they were carrying signs of how caliphate is the solution and things like that. And I mean, fantastic job by those people, by the way, because the reactions haven't been very pretty.
Yeah, and by the way, DKDKKDKS, you did that exactly correctly, right?
Well done.
Because I don't know how things are in Germany. I'm assuming it's similar to other countries in terms of people have spent years telling politicians and journalists had probably been telling people for years Islam's this wonderful thing, and anyone who objects to it is obviously an Islamophobic, racist bigot, and so on. And people have been brainwashed by that. And probably, I'm guessing that these are situations when they're going, "Oh, we're going to establish the caliphate and take over Germany," when people are going, wait a minute, this isn't what I was told it was. And these are the perfect opportunities where you want to step in and say, hey, let me explain some things to you. And people are going to be more receptive than in the past. So yeah, you're doing that exactly correct.
This harms the image of Islam, which proves that it's actually the Jews who secretly organized those rallies.
Yeah, and the McRib, the golden age gave us the McRib.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But here's one of the contributors that Sulaiman was just talking about. He said that everything came from Muslim, from Islamic culture.
He specifically says literature.
Like literature here, example, Shakespeare was actually a Palestinian Muslim who fought to resist the Zionist oppressor. His name was Sheikh Zubair. Of course, the Zionists and evil West stole all his work and changed it up to erase Palestinian history. But this is just proof that Sulaiman is totally right here.
Hear it, guys. Sheikh Zubair, Sheikh Zubair, Sheikh Zubair, Shakespeare, Shakespeare. See how they, this is what they do.
That's what they do.
Pretend that like we're just as worried about a Weinstein stabbing you for being Christian as we would be about Jewish. Like a Muhammad beheading you for being Christian or Jewish. But I mean, where are all of the Muslims trying to immigrate to? And where are all of the Christians and Jews going? I don't see this reverse, like Christians and Jews feeling like they can find safe havens in these Arab majority Muslim countries. I do see a lot of Muslims from those countries trying to go to Europe and trying to go to the United States. And I think there's a reason for that.
Okay. He will probably say the reason is that the West is treating the Muslim world unfair and there are bombs and stuff like that, some garbage.
The reason is because the West absorbed all the good ideas of Islam, and then the Muslim world forgot about them because of the Jews, and that's why.
It's because the West eats all the good stuff that they find in Islamic society, and then they poop it out on the Islamic society itself after eating it. That's why this is happening. Let's see.
So just
go ahead.
So the first thing is, yes, you would be banned in all forms of social media if you said Jews try to basically bite the foreskin. I mean, Lucas Gage is a mad tweeted this.
Are you freaking kidding?
He said he's tweeted that. He just said he's tweeted that. I see that all the time. I see that all the time.
I see all kinds of crazy stuff about Jews. What are you talking about, man?
First thing is, yes,
like I can't go on Twitter without seeing Jews. For some reason, that gets.
I could just keep bookmarks full of things that people say about Jews, and it's everywhere, man. It is
And look,
everywhere.
he's got this smug grin on his face, like, I've refuted you. I've said it. If you say foreskin, then blah, blah, blah.
This guy said, "Let's test it. Jews bite the foreskin." This was posted 13 hours ago, so nothing happened.
Not yet. But watch,
Not
he'll be
yet.
banned.
This is what they want. They want you to check early and see that nothing happens, and later, when nobody looks, they want to ban you. I mean, I'm just searching for it and seeing endless amounts of tweets saying similar things, and nobody is getting banned. These accounts are all there. This is just, see, you can't have an honest conversation with people like these, because they lie. They deflect and they lie.
Media, if you said Jews try to basically bite the foreskin. I mean, Lucas Gage is a
tweeted this out before.
Lucas Gage is a prime example of someone who calls Jews out and completely is banned. So you would.
Lucas Cage is not somebody who just calls Jews out and gets banned. I'm pretty sure that Lucas Cage is the one who actually advocated for fighting and putting an end to the Jews, or justifying the Holocaust or something like that. And by the way, he's back. Pretty sure he's back. But if I actually looked for what got him banned, I could look at it. But look at this. This is the example. Dude. This is the example that he brings. This guy is the example of someone he brings up who is banned just for calling out the Jews.
Yep. He said something about foreskins and he got banned.
This person is the one that Sulaiman Ahmed here mentions as an example of somebody who gets banned just because he calls out the Jews. Just because he calls out the Jews. Here the tweet says, "Raise your hand if you have been trying to warn everyone about the Jews, but everyone thought you were crazy until now," with Hitler having his hand raised. I think this is his other account, but you could go into the history of posts by Lucas Cage, who is actually a full-blown neo-Nazi who praises the Nazis and Hitler and thinks Jews are behind every bad thing in the world, and there is a reason why they were massacred and so on. This is the guy that Sulaiman Ahmed takes as an example that people are being censored just because they call out Jews.
Yeah, I'm just looking through Twitter. There are endless comments like this.
Yeah.
Rabbis suck the blood off a young boy's foreskin. F the Jews. The Zionist regime of Israel, in fact, is a terrorist organization. It's endless. Aren't rabbis, by the way, aren't rabbis pedophiles who bite little male foreskins off? I don't see anyone talking about this enough.
Look at this. Lucas Cage, 256,000 followers. Is this hateful conduct? Post about Hitler. Hitler. The Gaza genocide is worse than the Holocaust. By the way, the Gaza genocide is worse than the Holocaust. Let's just look at for a second. Nothing to do with the point, but at how ridiculous this idiotic idea here is. Holocaust was literally a targeted, concentrated killing of millions of people. It took the lives of a third of the Jewish population. 6 million people were killed, and he compares this to this Gaza genocide, which is where so far, according to the numbers, according to the speculations, around 1% or so of the Gazan population, many of whom support or actively participate in Hamas activities, have died. He thinks these are the same. He thinks that is actually worse than the Holocaust. Then he reposts Keith Woods, who is an Irish Nazi. Where's the hateful conduct? Just a picture of a dead dictator with his hands up. LOL. Of course, yeah, very funny. So this is the guy posting Nick Griffin, who is also a Jew-hating neo-Nazi, and so on. This is the guy that he's talking about.
This guy's still on Twitter, right?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay, so this guy's on Twitter posting this stuff day in, day out, all day, every day,
Every
posting
day.
his Nazi stuff.
Every day.
And Sulaiman is comparing this to Muslims slaughtering people who make a cartoon about their prophet?
Yes. Oh man. Oh man.
In terms of death threats, I mean, I've had a huge amount of death threats from Zionists, right? And I've had my name on a missile.
Oh yeah, all these dangerous Zionists, killing people everywhere who are critical of Jews.
And he said, "And my name on a missile." He's talking about when they were writing names with a Sharpie on the missiles, saying, "Haha, we wrote your name on a missile. It's about to we're about to fire at Hamas."
Oh no, they wrote my name on a missile.
The same thing as being slaughtered in the name of Allah.
Oh no, they wrote my name on a missile which they fired at Hamas. This is the same as being killed. I'm actually in a worse position than the cartoonists of Charlie Hebdo. Why is nobody talking about me?
So let's not pretend that this is only happening one way, right? And proportionally, there's 2 billion Muslims. There's only a small number of Jews, and yeah, the death threats are disproportionate.
Yes, and the Holocaust, by the way, didn't help with that. And neither did the treatment of Muslims, especially over the last 2 centuries toward Jews.
In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as an example that you would be willing to mention that? And again, you probably, and I know you don't know the epistemology and the hermeneutics behind that argument.
He said epistemology and hermeneutics.
Hermeneutics.
Yeah, define those words, Sulaiman. Define those words.
The epistemology and hermeneutics of what exactly? What is he? I don't know.
Nothing. I think that's what I mean. I think he just used big words to sound smart there.
Muslims. There's only a small number of Jews, and yeah, the death threats are disproportionate. In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as an example? Like
talk about what?
The death threats are disproportionate. In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as
do you hear what he's saying?
No.
And when you talk about Marinaro, what in this
number of Jews, and yeah, the death threats are disproportionate. In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as an example?
So he's saying what? He's saying proportionally, Jews will threaten you with death way more than Muslims when you factor in that they're a smaller portion of the world's population.
Yeah, I guess so. Ethan says he's talking about marinara sauce.
Okay. Well, yeah, that actually fits.
If you're talking about marinara.
The death threats are disproportionate. In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as an example that you would be willing to...
Wow,
the proletariat.
I think Diana got it right. My analysis, I think that might be
disproportionate. In terms of when you talk about Marinaro, is someone like you as an example?
Could be true. I don't know. We will never know.
I can tell. He could be saying marinara. He could have started saying my analysis and then cut himself short. He could have been talking to Myron.
Oh yeah, you could say Myron. Somebody says my analysis. Someone like you. I will.
You know, to be funny, get like an FBI voice analyst to try and decipher it. What he's saying.
And they will say, we went through all the training. I worked on this kind of stuff for decades, and I do not know what this person is saying.
Until we played it backwards, and then we heard this. Title of video, though. We thought Sulaiman was incomprehensible until we played his words backwards. Then this happened.
Somebody said minor marriage, but yeah, whatever. Marijuana, that sounds good too. Yeah, marijuana.
To mention that, and again, you probably, and I know you don't know the epistemology and the hermeneutics behind.
He says epistemology.
You don't know, Destiny. You're dumb. You don't know the epistemology and the hermeneutics of marinara.
You don't know the epistemology of marinara sauce.
And that argument. To mention that, and again, you probably, and I know you don't know the epistemology and the hermeneutics behind that argument, but you wouldn't mention about Judaism, which literally says marry 3-year-olds, and this is an example of when we mentioned, as an example, when I mentioned.
Hey, here's another example.
Here we are again.
Yeah, here's another perfect example. Gosh, does he not realize what a freaking it's a weird situation where to his fans, he sounds like brilliant right now, and to anyone else, we're going, "What the heck are you talking about?" And where Destiny could say the exact same thing. Hey, if I see some epidemic of Jews going around defending marriage to 3-year-olds, yeah, I'll suddenly become very, very disturbed by that. Meanwhile, it's Muslims who spend all their time defending child marriage. It's Muslims doing it. Period. That's it.
I will now show you something, David, and everyone else. And I know you are not prepared for this, although you have already kind of predicted it. But everybody who's watching right now, be prepared for this. This is Rumble, where Fresh and Fit live broadcasts this issue. And I will now look at the comment section. And please, do not lose hope. There is hope at the end of the tunnel, but do not lose hope once you look into this. Why keep promoting Destiny? Throw him in a dumpster already. Free Palestine. You already know Destiny is going to lose this debate. Russia, Palestine. Anyone with a functioning brain knows it's genocide. Wow, Sully cooked the transgender so easily, LMFAO. Destiny lost as usual. Destiny is getting so destroyed. This would be even worse than the L he took against Nick. Bring the Muslim lantern. W debate W Sulaiman. Destiny is a fag. Send him to the homeboys. This is easy work for Sheikh Sulaiman. Sulaiman destroyed him. I am convinced. I'm convinced that the audience here consists of people with, I don't want to give numbers to it, but extremely poor standards, extremely poor thinking
6
skills.
billion to 0 total Sully victory. Guys, they were asking, is Islam the path? And all Sulaiman said, Jews, 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 Jews. It's apparently that's all you have to do from it with that crowd. The topic could be anything. Is 2 + 2 4? What about the Jews? Oh, burn. Oh, you win the debate. You complain about Jews.
This is what we're dealing with. And when I see stuff like this, I think, what's even the point? What is even the point?
When Sulaiman, Aisha wasn't 9.
What's even the point of arguing with people like these? You can bring any fact to the table. You can't convince people who are significantly below the mental capacity that this requires. I mean, I would say Destiny here is, I don't know.
Wouldn't mention about Judaism, which literally says marry 3-year-olds, and this is an example of when.
All right, he brought this up. He said he did mention Judaism. Of course, he goes to Judaism again. Nothing to do with the topic, but he goes to Judaism again, and he says Judaism says marry 3-year-olds. That's what he just said.
We mentioned, but you wouldn't mention about Judaism, which literally says marry 3-year-olds, and this is an example of when.
Judaism doesn't say marry 3-year-olds.
No.
It says no such thing.
The standard dominant position was 12.5 was the bare minimum.
Yes. Judaism doesn't say marry 3-year-olds. What he's referring to is a Talmud passage that talks about the marriage or the relations of a 3-year-old and a person. What it does, however, is this is why the Talmud is known for talking about small details excessively in a hair-splitting way. It's talking about if such a thing happened, or if somebody from a different culture, for example, experienced such a thing and came and were part of us, what would be the implications of such a thing on the virginity of this person, for example. This is what the discussion is about. It never at any point allows people to marry at the age of 3. It never says any such thing. However, this is something that people like Sulaiman or Nick Fuentes or others will easily pick, instead of actually looking at the age which the Talmud gives you and recommends for marriage. And it's you can actually find it. Yes, you can actually find it. And I'll pull it up here in a minute. David, did you want
And
to say something?
by the way, what's interesting is this is connected to another one of their justifications for child marriage, which we've seen thousands and thousands of times. They'll say, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia, Mary was 12. We've gone to the Catholic Encyclopedia a trillion times. We've shown what it actually says. It says no one knows. We don't have enough information. The reason you'll find for saying she could have been as young as 12 is that's what was legally allowed. That was the minimum age in first century Israel. The minimum age would have been 12 and a half for a girl to be married off. So it's just interesting. It's like they're saying, Mary was 12. Why was she 12? Why are you saying she's 12? Because that was the minimum age of marriage. Okay, why are you assuming that she was married off right at the very minimum age? But what they miss in all of that is what's the reason for non-Muslims to say she could have been, hypothetically, she could have been as young as 12. What's the justification for that? Well, it's the understanding that that's what was allowed in Judaism. And this guy's saying, oh no, it's 3. Oh, okay, so what? She could have been as young as 3 because that was normal. Really, Sully?
Really, Sully? I posted about that a while back. Need to find that. If somebody knows the reference, I have those things saved somewhere. But it actually explicitly says at this age, this, at this age, this, at this age, marriage, at this age, so and so, and so on. This is what the Talmud directly says. At age 18, there are 2 passages which say that according to one, it could be as early as 12, and then there is another which gives the ideal age of marriage, I believe, to at the age of 18 or something like that. Would have to find those passages and
inspiring philosophy. He cited a source where they actually did the math on available records of when marriages were conducted, and the average age of marriage back then was something like 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so it's just interesting that when Muslims are trying to defend Muhammad having sex with a 9-year-old, they say, but Mary was 12, when the claim is actually that she could have been as young as 12 based on what was allowed at the time. Whereas if you wanted to say, hey, let's just base it on what the average age of marriage was, since we don't have a record of when she was actually married, just based on what the average age of marriage was, it was something like 18 for women.
Mm-hmm.
But no, because everything is geared around defending Muhammad's marriage to Aisha.
Yeah, precisely. Kiddushin 29b. Is that it? Let me look this up here quickly. Let's look this up. 5, Salah redeems his son, loan written, 18, what does it mention, 18? Not here, I think it's in 30. Actually, I might have that bookmarked. I have certain things bookmarked here, specifically for that. Let's see. This is Sepharia. We still have control from 16 until 22, and some say from 18 until 24 is the appropriate age. Train a child. One said that the verse was referring to the ages from 16 until 22. 24. The dispute concerning the correct age for marriage and the dispute about educating a child are the same, as while a father still has a large measure of influence over his son, he must both teach him and find him a wife. Look at this. This is talking here the Talmud, the rabbis are talking about marriage and what the appropriate age is, and they're talking about 16, 22, and so on, 18, 24. And here is people like Sulaiman are like, Judaism says age of marriage at 3 years old. Yeah, of course. The rabbis here they were just talking stuff that is completely irrelevant, because we could just go and ask Sulaiman, and Sulaiman will tell us at what age you're married. I don't even know what these rabbis are talking about and why they're wasting their time. Why don't they just ask Sulaiman? And Sulaiman will tell them what the appropriate age is according to Judaism. The age according to Judaism is 3. So what are these rabbis talking about? What a waste of time. What an absolute waste of time. and so on. David, what else? It is incumbent on every man that they should marry a woman at the age of 18, and the diligent get married at 13. And this mitzvah is for those who choose it, but before the age of 13, one should not marry, because it is similar to harlotry. If 20 years go by and he has not taken a wife, and he who lets 20 years pass, or he who does not want to marry, the courts can force him to marry in order to fulfill the mitzvah of being fruitful and multiplying. These are things being talked about up to 2,000 years ago and in the meantime, and so on. But yeah, so this whole idea of marrying 3-year-olds is complete nonsense and goes back to Nazi memes. That's what it is. That's all it is. And they have to bring this stuff up because they have to somehow vilify and demonize Jews. And Muslims specifically need to bring up this kind of stuff because they have to somehow say, argue against the fact that Islam is the religion that is known for being pedophilic. That's it.
And we mentioned, as an example, when I mentioned in debates, they lose their minds. They'll block me. They'll try and cancel me. And this has happened on many platforms. So it does happen indeed. I think Weinstein.
I'm pretty sure, Sulaiman, that if they tried to cancel you or if they tried to ban you, you would be banned.
You meant Weinstein is like a Jewish name, so you probably just got confused there. And the last bit about immigration. So, of course, the reason people immigrate to Western countries and not obviously Israel is because due to Zionist agenda, basically Muslim countries have been bombed to the ground. Now,
oh yeah, I knew.
Due to Zionist agendas, Muslim countries have been bombed to. Think about what he just said right there. The reason the rest of the world is not flocking to Muslim countries is because Muslim countries have been bombed to the ground. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Saudi Arabia, it's been bombed to the ground. Poor Saudi Arabia. All these countries, they've been bombed to the West is just constantly just bombing all these countries.
Yes. So apparently, I lived in Turkey. I lived in Turkey for over 10 years. Apparently, for some reason, I didn't see it. I don't know. But apparently Turkey is being bombed day and night by Western countries under the Zionist agenda, and it's been bombed to the ground. I totally missed it. I was probably sleeping while I was busy doing something else for those 10 years. But it was actually because of the Zionist agenda being bombed to the ground by the West. Yeah. Qatar apparently is being bombed to the ground and has been bombed to the ground. Brunei has been bombed to the ground. The Maldives, where people go on vacation, has been bombed to the ground. Oman is being bombed to the ground.
Yeah, some of these places are building the biggest buildings in the world, which is weird because how do they even get started when they're constantly being bombed to the ground? Isn't that well?
Yeah.
And a little side note that would tie in with what Destiny said earlier about okay, so let's suppose that this great thing in Islam, the golden age 1,000 years ago, is really great. The world has moved on. What have you done for us? What have you done for us lately? The same principle would apply here. Europe was actually bombed to rubble.
Yes.
Germany was bombed to rubble. London had the crap bombed out of it by the Germans.
Yes.
What happened? They all rebuilt. Yes. This is just recent. So what? So what? It's always
because the Zionist agenda didn't allow us to build back.
Can you imagine what is there in the world that this guy would not just instantly blame Jews for? But I mean, think about this double problem. So one, the reason the Muslim world sucks is because Zionist controlled powers keep bombing it down to nothing. That's why you're not moving to Saudi Arabia, because it's getting bombed right now. It's getting bombed. But two, suppose that the Muslim world got bombed down to rubble. That happens in other places and they rebuild. So why does Islam lack resilience? That you always have to, 1,000 years ago it was really great. Okay, why does Islam why can't it ever keep up? And it's always, it's their fault, everything. You blame everyone else. I mean, I would just say an ideology that sits around accomplishing nothing in the world except whining and complaining and blaming Jews for everything, I would say that can't be the future, man. Just whining about Jews all day can't be the future. You can't just like, hey, what's the future going to be like? Oh, we're all going to sit around in a pile of rubble blaming Jews for everything.
Yeah.
Jews. It's like the Jews, right? It's like the Jews. But what about the Jews? Now, Destiny brought this up, but what about the Jews and the Zionists, eh? The Zionists and the Jews and the Zionists. You sound like you sound like an idiot parrot
I could ask
who's been
you
taught to
actually,
say two words.
I could ask you the question: can you give me a list of countries that are currently or that have been bombed to the ground by the Western world? And then let's analyze them, case by case. Let's analyze them. And of course, they will mention something like Syria, for example, where Western forces did indeed join, but only after a brutal civil war broke out. It's not like they were forced to fight or they were invaded by the West. No, a brutal civil war broke out. That's it.
And by the way, was that
Afghanistan and
was
Iraq
that Zionist?
That's it.
Was that Zionist? Was that Zionist going in there? Because I mean, you had ISIS.
Everything is Zionist.
You had the Arab Spring, and you had ISIS, and you had all these groups trying to take over. You got Sunnis and Shias, and they're killing each other, and they're blowing up. And then Russia gets involved, and Iran's pulling strings and everything. And you ask Sulaiman, who's responsible for that? The Zionists.
Zionists.
It doesn't matter who's doing what. It's Zionists.
Zionists. All Muslim countries have been bombed to the ground so far. All Muslim countries have been bombed to the ground. What?
Hey, why did this Shia group do this?
Zionists.
What? Why did this Sunni group do that? Zionists. Everything's Zionists.
Zionists are doing.
That's the future, ladies and gentlemen. Zionists. Dude's a joke, man.
And by the way,
it's pathetic. I mean, dude, it's actually, it's so, I mean, you have no idea how pathetic I think this is. A guy who spends every waking moment whining about Jews, and you ask him, why does the Muslim world suck so much? It's because of Jews. Wait a minute. You guys have 49 Muslim majority countries. You've got a quarter of the world's population. You're talking about how strong your culture is, and a couple of Jews are keeping you from being this glorious thing that you think you're supposed to be. A couple of Jews. What's that mean? It means that your entire how can your civilization be the future if 2 billion of you can't deal with a couple of Jews? If you're so incredibly weak that a couple of Jews can keep you bombed down to nothing, even though are they invisible bombs, Sulaiman? Are they invisible bombs? Because we don't see them. Gosh, what a joke, man. What a freaking clown. But it's like it encapsulates the Islamic mindsets like so perfectly. It can't possibly be because of us. It's because the Jews.
It's not my fault. It's the Jews' fault.
Keep getting us bombed. That's why no one wants to move to one of our 49 countries.
If the Jews didn't make us fail, we would be the most successful ever. We would be the most successful, but it's all because of the Jews, because the Jews won't allow us to be successful. That's why we suck. That's why we are the worst. That's why we are terrible. That's why nobody wants to move to Muslim countries. It's because of the Jews. Because of the Jews, not because of attitudes like these.
This is so pathetic, man.
Yeah. It's because the Jews want to make us bad.
The Jews won't let us beat them.
I only
until we sit around whining.
This is my message to Sulaiman.
This sums it up.
Are you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
This gets me every time. Anyway.
So on the one hand, we have
still talking.
Like half of Dawa is blame Jews for everything. The other half of Dawa is turn everything into something about molestation.
Jews and molestation and Jews.
You disagree with me? Molested.
Yes.
Bombed to the ground. Now, when there's certain countries that have basically not been bombed to the ground, we're seeing emigration happening. We're seeing basically people from Britain go to Dubai and go to UAE.
Go to Dubai, go to UAE. You have Dubai. Of course, the response to Destiny's point about people mass immigrating to the West is, oh, what about Dubai? Rich people go to Dubai.
So it's not specifically about that, but it's really about a 20-year, even longer, psychological impact of destroying these countries for Israel.
For Israel. We're all destroying these countries for Israel. We're destroying Saudi Arabia for Israel.
Afghanistan, by the way,
That's why people don't move to Saudi Arabia. It's not because of the religious restrictions, or it's not because of the women's rights issues. It's not because of the speech issues where they'll lock you up for criticizing. I just saw an article. Maybe we'll talk about it in a live stream, where a women's rights activist just was sentenced to 11 years for the way she was dressed and for criticizing women's rights in Saudi Arabia. So that's because of the Jewish bombs that keep coming to get us.
yeah. If it weren't for the Jewish bombs, man, the Muslim world would be amazing. If it weren't for all the Jews.
We're seeing basically people from Britain go to Dubai and go to UAE. So it's not specifically about that.
Go to Dubai and go to UAE. Yes, okay.
It's really about a 20-year, even longer, psychological impact of destroying these countries for Israel.
Okay.
I know we were meant to talk about that, but you brought
There's
up
like so many
immigration.
other things.
Okay, we'll get into that. I got one question, and then we'll switch over. Follow-up question, because we've already been on the topic. Is Islam a religion of peace? Who wants to take it first? And I'll go 2 minutes so you can take your stance.
Well, let's talk about the Jews. Let's talk about the Jews. If you're going to call Islam, if you're going to say that Islam is not a religion of peace, then let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about the Zionists. The Zionists have convinced you with their bombs.
The response will be about Israel and Jews.
Dude's a clown, a total clown,
Oh,
and I just can't see why so many people don't see it.
I can go first, I guess. I don't know if we'll disagree on this. My background is Catholic. I grew up in the Archdiocese in Omaha, Nebraska. I've seen a lot of different things between different Catholic churches. I've seen a lot of different things in a Catholic church. I don't like generalizing any one particular religion because it feels really silly to do so. If you look at the culture and how people operate in Saudi Arabia, and then you compare that to the people, the Houthis in Yemen, you compare that to absolute monarchs in the Gulf states, compared to the secular dictatorship in Egypt, compared to the Islamist dictatorship, the Ayatollah in Iran. There's so many different types of Muslim people all over the world. Muslims in the United States are going to be way different. Muslims in Miami are going to be way different than Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, or Muslims in Europe, in France and Paris, in London, England. It depends. Everybody's so different. I wouldn't say that Islam is a religion of peace, but I also wouldn't say that Christianity is a religion of peace.
What about Judaism?
That Judaism is, I wouldn't say anything is the religion of peace. I think that people can be violent with religions and people can be not violent with religions. It really just depends on the individual actors. I do think that Islam kind of has a problem sometimes, and that Islam kind of has baked into it more political ideology, which I think can be problematic. But I mean, there are 2 billion Muslims on the planet, and I think that they're, ironically enough, that was brought up in the last point, is these countries have been destroyed. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Arabs have probably killed each other more than any Western intervention countries have, at least for the 1900s and onwards. So, or the 1920s and onwards, at least. So.
This is true, by the way.
What's he writing on his paper the entire time? He's scribbling, doodling.
I think most of the time he's just kind of what do you call it? Whatever. But
doodling.
Yeah, that's a fact. Even when it comes to terrorism, for example, there is a line that you may have heard, which is that Muslims, the greatest victims of terrorism are Muslims, or something like that. It's because
and
throughout the
notice
Muslim world, Islamic terrorists are killing Muslims all the time, and they're doing this kind of stuff all the time. They have been killing each other for 1,400 years prior to this, through wars and other acts, now through terrorism.
But think about this, because here I thought Destiny's response so far was pretty weak on this issue, because you asked, is Islam a religion of peace? And he's like, but there's so many different kinds of Muslim political order. It's not the question. It's talking about Islam, the ideology. Yep. And you say, but so many Muslims are being killed by other Muslims. Yeah, there's a reason for that, and it goes back to the religion itself. Muhammad was commanded in Surah 9, verse 73, to fight not only unbelievers, but also hypocrites. It's actually wage jihad. So there it will say, in a translation, it will say strive. It's a version of jihad. Wage jihad, not only against unbelievers, but also against hypocrites, people who aren't doing Islam correctly. You had, after Muhammad's death, Abu Bakr takes over, and Abu Bakr fights the apostate wars. But some of those apostates weren't just apostates who were saying we're renouncing Islam. Some of those were counted as apostates just because they weren't obeying the correct orders of the caliph. No, that's why Abu Bakr famously said, if they don't give me a piece of rope that they would have given Muhammad, I'm coming to kill them.
Yep.
So he's coming to kill you for doing Islam even slightly incorrectly. If you are slightly incorrect in Islam, he's coming to kill you. This is Abu Bakr. You get to a little later, and you have Aisha, whose title in Islam is the mother of the faithful, marches an army against Ali, whose title in Islam is the commander of the faithful. You have one army led by the mother of the faithful declaring war against another army led by the commander of the faithful. Around 10,000 Muslims died in bloody combat. One army led by the mother of the faithful, the other led by the commander of the faithful. That's the first generation. Muhammad said that the best generation of Muslims was the first generation. What did the first generation of Muslims do? They almost slaughtered each other into non-existence by killing each other over disagreements. So if that's the pattern in Islam, you have Muhammad, and he's commanded to wage jihad not only against the unbelievers, not only against the outsiders, but people who, within the religion, if they're doing the religion wrong. You have the first of the rightly guided caliphs. If you're practicing even slightly incorrectly, we're treating you as an apostate. We're coming to kill you. And then you have leaders who are considered like heroes of the religion, slaughtering each other in open bloody combat. That's all the first generation. They set the pattern. Muhammad says that's the best generation, the ones who are killing and slaughtering each other left and right. So when you look down today and you say, oh, ISIS is killing Shias. Oh, you see, well, that's weird. It's not weird at all. They believe they were commanded to do that from the Quran. They believe they were commanded to do that from the caliphs. They believe that's the pattern in Islam. So when you say, but Muslims kill each other so frequently, see, I don't even know what to think of that. That's exactly what you find in the religion. So is Islam a religion of peace when it commands that sort of thing? It inevitably leads to that sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree that I would say that Destiny's response on this one has been very weak, considering the rest of the debate and considering other things that I heard from him in the past. I don't know. Maybe he needs an update to his system when it comes to Islam. However, yeah, I mean, so much can be pointed out. He is right on one thing, which is that there are all kinds of different people who adhere to a certain religion, and they have varying beliefs and varying attitudes and so on. However, it's not really relevant to the idea that is, or to the question that is being asked here, which is Islam a religion of peace? And I'm actually kind of interested and kind of impressed and glad that Myron would ask this question and that they would introduce this as a debate topic. It's good because these people clearly don't care about the backlash that they receive from the Muslim apologists when it comes to these issues. I don't know, but you could very easily and very simply, very clearly and very succinctly make the point that Islam is certainly not a religion of peace. On the contrary, that Islam is a very violent, a very destructive, a very hostile religion, which has no place for peace in the world. A religion which in its scripture, the Quran, directly commands Muslims to fight all those who don't accept the religion, who don't convert to Islam or don't agree to pay protection money. A religion which constantly incites people to fight, people of different beliefs and so on. A religion whose prophet, according to its own traditions, said that he has been sent to fight until everyone says there is no God but Allah and I am his messenger. A religion which clearly and openly commands the killing, the execution of anyone who leaves the faith, and so on. In fact, Islam is the worst when it comes to matters of peace and war. If there is any religion, if any religion is a religion of peace, it's most definitely not Islam. And I would say that every major religion that we have is more peaceful than Islam. There is no comparison, no question.
Yeah, as far as fresh and fit and allowing this stuff, this is actually good. The whole situation here that Islam is now in right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hilarious because here's the situation they're in. Here's the situation that Sully is in. They are so enraged about Israel that they just don't care how stupid their religion looks to the rest of the world, as long as they get a shot at Israel at certain points. People have been like that with us in the past. As long as they get an insult in at us, they don't care what it does to their religion. As long as they get an insult in at us, they don't care about it. They don't care what the blowback is on their religion. They become so enraged that, hey, matter of fact, the Hamas attack, that's exactly what it was. As long as we get to go and kill these 1,200 people, we're willing to take the retaliation, even if it's a million times worse. We are not. It's worth it just to have that one shot against the Jews. Same thing, like 9/11. We got them. We took down these 2 buildings. Okay, are you ready for the backlash? Are you ready for it? It's still worth it. But right now, the mentality is, we don't care how stupid our guys look when they're babbling about Jews. As long as they get those shots out against Jews and they whine about Jews the entire time, it's good. And yeah, it may work for you guys, but the entire rest of the world is going, you guys are nuts, man. You're complete lunatics who are just obsessed with Jews.
Sick. You are sick.
So the point is, it's actually as annoying as it can be. Like if you're going to have Sully on your show and all he's going to do is whine about Jews all day, as annoying as that is, and is as unproductive as that is, it's actually a good spot to be in, because Sully is the sort of person where you can sit down with him and it would not matter how much you're blasting away at Islam. He would think as long as he gets to take a shot at Jews during that discussion, it's fine. And so what this means is we may be in a situation now where we can all be blasting away at Islam and they will all think, well, as long as we say something about Jews, then we're good to go. And it's not going to work out that way, because we might be in a situation where we can actually educate the entire world about Islam right now, and Muslims will allow it as long as they get to whine about Jews the entire time.
Yeah. Mandy said Theo van Gogh, the nephew of Vincent van Gogh, was slaughtered in the Netherlands by a radical Muslim after releasing the movie Submission. Really?
Yeah, we've gone through that before.
Interesting. Yeah, we have actually made a stream on that. Very, very crucial thing to talk about when it comes to Islam in the West and how it tolerates things. Red Olympus said proletarian Rex.
Hey, we should
latency.
We should talk to Ayan Hirsi Ali one day and say, is there like a script? Because they were planning on a part 2. We should say, like, was that script ever finished? Because if so, give it to us. We'll make it.
We'll do it. Input latency said unrelated to the topic, but hey, David, do you plan on checking out Rationality Rules video on you responding to it, chatting with him? Also, God bless you both.
Yeah, I'll probably watch that because it's shorter. I'll probably watch that before the Myth Vision one. But yeah, I'll probably watch it. Again, I have no idea, but the way he titled and so on, it doesn't give me high hopes that we're dealing with the top brass here. But yeah, no, that's fun.
Be the best.
That's fun stuff. Yeah.
Jack said, "Duo goat scream, please. Thank you for your work, guys. You're both legends. Always awesome show. Thank you so much, Jax. Or in other words." Nikhil Sanka said, "How much is your check from Israel? I'd like to cash some of that Nazi Jew money, if not supporting terrorist counts as being a Nazi Islamophobic. If you don't support Hamas, if you don't support Islamic terrorism, then you're a Zionist and a Nazi at the same time." That's
yeah. We don't get. Yeah, just to be clear, we don't get checks from Israel. We just get boxes of shekels.
Boxes of shekels.
And it's boxes of shekels, and then we have to convert it and so on. But yeah. So there's your answer.
I get shekels and I say convert or you will die. Andreas Christensen says,
we get boxes of shekels, and then we get the yarmulkes, the custom yarmulkes and stuff like that. Cha-ching, cha-ching, ching, ching.
Andreas Christensen said, "Don't ask questions that can make you doubt. There are those who did. They left Islam." Quran 5:101-102. Alhamdulillah. David Quds said, "I started watching the debate and the Muslim guy was so insufferable I turned it off. I see handsome Dave and cute AP live. I click, oh no." Well, that's what happens. Knows Too Much says, "Jews and Samaritans, indigenous people of the land of Israel by all historic, genetic, linguistic, archaeological, cultural, and religious evidence. Becoming a minority in your land due to brutal foreign imperialism doesn't negate it. Islam and Arabic are foreign to the land of Israel." Pretty much. Moroni Holm says, "Proof that Islamic barristers don't study history." That's true. Oh yeah, he's actually a lawyer of Islamic law or something like that, I think. Or it's Islamic economics or something like that. Yeah. Let me see. Sulaiman Ahmed. Sulaiman Ahmed. What is he? He is a PhD candidate, philosophy, PGCE, mathematics, LLB, law, author of law. I thought it was.
Wait, he's studying philosophy? That's how he knew the word epistemology?
Yeah. We still don't know what exactly, the epistemology and hermeneutics of what. He said the epistemology and hermeneutics of mariners. That's what he said. Mark Roman, if the trajectory continues as it is, it's going to reach totalitarian. Knows too much, said, please read Book of Maccabees 15:33-34. Simon the Hasmonean's based response to Antiochus the Seventh, who complained about territory taken. David knows all of this from memory, but I'm just looking it up just to have reference here. David, what does it say?
Simon said to him in reply, it is not foreign land we have taken, nor have we seized the property of others, but only our ancestral heritage, which for a time had been unjustly held by our enemies. Now that we have the opportunity, we are holding on to the heritage of our ancestors.
Oof.
You giant losers. I added that myself. He didn't say you giant losers, but you can tell by the tone.
Yeah. Sneakster says, weren't Jews and Christians living in Palestine before the Muslims conquered the land? Why stop at 1948? Why not the 7th century? It's a complicated topic. It is a complicated topic. Archer, those BDSM laws are better than Islam, but now that's wild power Israel has over the U.S. Yeah. BDSM laws are terrible. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Real quick, Destiny,
So
if you're
just-
going to choose a religion to go to, let's just say you're going to choose a religion to go towards, which would it be? Islam?
Oh, what do you think, David? What do you think he will say? Destiny is being asked, if you had to choose one religion to go to, which one would it be? David, what's your guess?
I think I'll say Buddhism or some crap.
That's what you think? Okay, what does everyone
Atheism.
else think he will say? If he had to pick one religion and atheism would be excluded because it's not a religion, what would Destiny say? I'm curious what he will say. Little Sausage said choose the cow. BDSM laws, Christianity, Wiccan. What Wiccan? Islam for sure. The Jews, Muslims live in Israel. I choose the cow. Christianity, Buddhism, since he's an atheist. LOL. Buddhism, Jainism, Minecraft, Pastafarianism, Scientology. I would say Minecraft seems like likely, but let's see what he says. Agnostic. That's not a religion though. Spaghetti monster religion. This could also be one of the religions he might pick. Agnosticism, magic, Jainism. He's not going to say Christianity. Turdism, atheism, and so on. LOL, Wiccan, Dark Towerism. Okay, let's see what he says.
Choose a religion to go to. Let's just say you're going to choose a religion to go towards. Which would it be? Islam, Christianity,
We know the
Buddhism?
Well, I feel like, damn, if Jews run the world and they're secretly in charge of fucking everything, I feel like I want to be with those dudes. I feel like from all the things that I've learned about religion, I like Christianity because I feel like the coolest like cheerleader guy is Jesus because he's super selfless. He's obviously strong. He's God. He does all this shit, but he like handles. He treats everybody with respect, even sinners. Don't judge the sinner, judge the sin. Like I feel like Jesus is like the prime example of if every single person on the planet could be a particular figure, he would be the one that you would want to be like. So.
That's going to be a video on my channel tomorrow, son.
Whoa,
What?
that's it, David. That's
It just
content
sucks.
for you right there.
Sucks that we're on your channel right now, and I can't hit the hallelujah button.
Okay, we could hit this instead. See, wow, you see, David, he proved you wrong. He didn't pick Buddhism. He picked Christianity. He said Jesus is amazing. You see that? You see?
You know what's interesting when he was asked the question, I was actually thinking if he were honest, and even, I don't even know what he is, if he's an atheist or whatever. It's just like it's like not cool thing to say. Like Christian, you got to say something. You got to say something cooler. When I'm thinking like, if you guys are honest, you'd say, okay, if I had to pick, I'd probably follow Jesus. But it's actually what what he said. So anyway,
This is interesting because there has been this trend around of these new atheists and the online atheists, among whom saying something good about Christianity or praising Christianity or all of that was considered like cringe, unacceptable, Christianity bad, everything else possibly good, and so on. Destiny is not like that. Destiny is not like that, and I don't know, man. I just like this guy. This is good.
Yeah.
Buddhism
Well, I feel like, damn, if
to go towards, which would it be? Islam, Christianity,
we know the answer.
Buddhism.
Well, I feel like, damn, if Jews run the world and are secretly in
Exactly.
charge of fucking everything, I feel like I want to be with those dudes.
Okay.
I feel like from all the things that I've learned about religion,
Yeah.
I like Christianity because I feel like the coolest like cheerleader guy is Jesus, because he's super selfless. He's obviously strong. He's God. He does all this shit, but he like handles. He treats everybody with respect, even sinners. Don't judge the sinner, judge the sin. Like I feel like Jesus is like the prime example of if every single person on the planet could be a particular figure,
Mhm.
he would be the one that you would want to be like. So.
Awesome.
Fuck the Jews for killing him. I'll say that, okay?
Oh,
oh man, hey,
Wait,
you,
I didn't catch that the first time.
yeah, and like Suleiman's probably like doesn't even care about the Christianity answer now. It's like, yes, he said that about the Jews. I win. It's great. Yay, we're on the same page, man. Yes, let's all convert to Christianity as long as we say what you just said. Alhamdulillah.
Wait, I have to hear that again. Oh man, this guy.
But you would want to be like, so
Awesome.
fuck the Jews for killing him. I'll say that, okay?
look at Myron. Look at Myron. Oh boy.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
that was so funny the way he starts off with a dig at Sulaiman. Namely, I mean, and this is serious. Like, hey, if I wanted to pick a religion, right? And if I just wanted to choose a religion based on power and strength, given what you Muslims said, Islam is not this strong thing. I mean, Judaism would be a supremely strong and powerful religion. It's controlling literally the entire world, according to you guys. According to you guys, Jewish rabbis are pulling the strings on literally everything that happens in the world. If I had to pick one, why would I want to go and be with those guys? I mean, they control the entire world, according to you. And then he gives his more serious response in terms of, hey, Jesus is actually pretty cool. He hung out with people that I would hang out with and stuff like that. And so I'd go with him. That's all. And then at the very end, hey, Sulaiman, let me say something to throw you off and make you agree with me.
Yeah, Clementine is pointing out people are going to think he's being serious. LOL. That is true, especially when you're dealing with the audiences like Fresh and Fit's usual audience. They might think, oh, look, even he agrees Jews are bad. He's obviously joking. But this is just a typical Destiny humor. The bad thing is, yes, some people are dumb enough to take us seriously. So that's that. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's about to be criminalized.
I'll turn it to you, Sulaiman. What is
Did you hear that?
What?
Okay, obviously we're not going to take Fresh and Fit seriously for political commentary, but he just said that's about to be criminal.
all right?
That's about to be criminalized.
I'll turn it.
Wait. Who said that? Wait, was that Sulaiman who just said that?
I'll say
That was
that, okay?
Sulaiman said that's about to be criminalized. Oh, he's talking about the law that we already went through and read the entire bill.
And here you have it once again. At first, I thought this was the Fresh and Fit guy, but Sulaiman
No,
just
that was
said
Sulaiman,
Sulaiman just
a
said
lawyer,
that's about to be
a lawyer.
criminalized.
Yeah.
So
A lawyer.
the Jews killed Jesus is about to be criminalized in America. That's what he's saying. Sulaiman, you absolute imbecile. I'm not sure if you're an absolute imbecile or if you're just a liar, but no, it's not about to be criminalized. It is not about to be criminalized to say Jews
You're
killed
not guilty
Jesus.
of a crime for saying something about Israel. Jews did this, Jews did that. It's not about to be a crime. For those of you who didn't watch our live stream the other day, we actually read the bill. I've read the entire bill. We talked about this before, so just a quick recap for people who weren't here the other day. The bill is simply about So you had the 1964 Civil Rights Act and so on. You can't discriminate people on the basis of race, religion, things like that. And so you're not allowed to discriminate against someone on a campus based on race, religion, and so on. How do you identify if an instance of discrimination is actually based on anti-Semitism? How do you identify that? And all the bill does is say we're adopting this list from this organization on how they identify instances of anti-Semitism. It's not saying you can't do these things. It's saying if someone is involved in an act of discriminating against someone. So they say, you can't work here, or you can't be in this building. And here are a set of identifying features, how you can identify if the person is excluding you because you're Jewish. So if you're saying, get out of here, you can't be in this building because you killed Jesus, okay, that's listed as one of the things that could identify the person's motive for discrimination. That's what the bill does.
Yes.
And he just said, no, it's criminalizing saying that Jews killed Jesus.
Yes. I wrote up something earlier about this, which is a long text. I know when I post something online, I'm supposed to just write 2 words or 2 sentences. If I write anything more than that, many people will just zone out. And I did that because I saw Lauren Chen. She made a video where she talked about criticizing Israel could be illegal soon, which is not what's happening at all. But it is so basically. The idea here that people are getting is that because of a recent bill, which is also called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, it is apparently going to be criminal to criticize Israel or to say Jews killed Jesus. That's not true at all. It's not true at all. The bill is not at all about restricting certain speech, but about preventing discrimination under the Department of Education based on anti-Semitism. When the law references the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism, which says that using claims of Jews killing Jesus to characterize Israel or Israelis is not that nobody will be allowed to say Jews killed Jesus, which is protected under free speech, but rather that Jewish or Israeli people may not be discriminated against because they are Jewish, Israeli, and Jews killed Jesus. So I'm going to make a summary of that in a bit. This law aims to prevent discrimination based on such accusations, not the utterance of such accusations. And this is actually what this is about. The bill is supposed to prevent, under the Department of Education, discriminatory actions taken against Jewish people based on ideas like, oh, Jews kill babies and things like that. And in fact, I clarified this here. What exactly is meant by discrimination? You can actually look it up. You go right here. I gave a link to it. This is directly from the Department of Education. They clarify here what discrimination refers to. And if you read it, if you don't agree with it, then you just don't understand the law. But it says, no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or otherwise be subjected to discrimination under any program to which this part applies. Specific discriminatory actions prohibited. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm just going to read it here to give an idea. Deny an individual any service, financial aid, or other benefit provided under the program. Provide any service, financial aid, or other benefit to an individual which is different or is provided in a different manner. Subject an individual to segregation or separate treatment in any matter related to this receipt of any service. Restrict an individual in any way of the enjoyment of or advantage of certain services. Treat an individual differently. Create a hostile environment, and so on. So what this is about is about you are not supposed to discriminate against a person of Jewish or Israeli origin because Israel is a bad country, or I don't know, Jews killed Jesus, and so on. The bill never, ever, at any point says you are not allowed to criticize Israel, or you are not allowed to say Jews killed Jesus, or you are not allowed to cite certain parts of the Bible, and so on. None of that is true. That's completely nonsensical. And here you have examples. Case 1. In a university, a certain activity which receives federal funding is offered to students. A Jewish student is prevented from participating because Jews kill children and drink their blood. In this case, it is clear that discrimination based on anti-Semitism is taking place. The university now has to take action against this discrimination or lose federal funding. By the way, that is the consequence. That is
You're not going to prison?
Nobody is going to prison. Nobody is getting arrested.
No one's committing a crime. No one's going to prison for committing a crime here.
Nobody will get arrested. Nobody will go to prison. This is about federal funding given to institutions or places under the education department. That's what this is about. Nobody is going to prison. If you claim they do, show me where it says that. And don't give me a tweet from Jackson Hinkle.
And just to remind everyone once again, did or did not the bill specifically said this bill cannot be used to undermine anyone's right to freedom of speech as laid down in the First Amendment?
Yes.
And you know what? You can't stop people from speaking based on this bill. It said it in the bill itself.
Some people say, "Oh, they just put that in the bill to say we don't want to take away freedom of speech just to pretend." That's not how the law works. In the law, you don't put something on a bill to pretend. In the law, you put something on a bill so that somebody who is accused of a certain charge can look at the bill and say, "Hold on. You're accusing me of this, but the bill here specifically says that my First Amendment right is protected, so you can't use this against me." And they will look at it and they will be like, "Oh yeah, that's true. Okay." That's how the law works. And so on. So here, what is not forbidden? For example, Lauren Chen, inside or outside a university, says Israel is bad and Jews killed Jesus. That is not forbidden under this bill. No such thing is taking place. And here, some YouTuber, me, and David, a philosophy PhD and YouTuber, we are here accurately representing what the bill is actually about, while a self-proclaimed lawyer is saying, "The student is going to be criminalized."
I'll turn it to you, Sulaiman. What is Islam a religion of peace?
I agree with his assessment, actually, in the first part of it, right? The individuals,
Let's go to Rumble.
it depends on the individuals, and also on top of that as well, it depends on the sects and ideas and ideologies, right? So I agree with it. In terms of Islam being a political ideology, again, this is like a false norma and false notion that's applied to Islam, because actually every ideology, whether it's Western or religious, has political elements in it, from Greek, from Plato's Republic to even current times when.
What in the what?
In terms of Islam being a political ideology,
Plato's Republic is political. is a work of political philosophy.
False norma and false notion that's applied.
It's called
actually
the Republic, and it's about establishing a city.
Yeah, David, you're saying that Islam is a political system, but excuse me, the Declaration of Independence also has political aspects in it.
Oh, it does? Because it's a political document? Interesting.
Every ideology, whether it's Western or religious, has political elements in it, from Greek.
Oh, really? Really? Wow.
Every ideology, he just said it.
This guy, I don't get it. I don't understand. This guy is supposed to be a lawyer. He's talking like somebody who has like who is extremely severely underdeveloped, who is mentally starving, who has an IQ of 75 or something. I don't know. I don't get it at all. What's happening? What is this?
I don't know.
From Plato's Republic to even current times, when you've basically got these scenarios happening. Actually, within the United Kingdom, Judaism actually has their own legal courts. They have their.
He worked it back to Judaism. Yeah, think about this, guys. Question: is Islam a religion of peace? Why don't you tell us about whether Islam's religion? But Judaism.
This is what we're dealing with, man.
own police, so they have their own kind of political framework even within Western countries. So when people make that argument, it's basically based on either propaganda or they've seen certain extreme elements within Islam and assuming and basically applying that to everybody else. But everybody else,
or they've actually read the Muslim sources and seen how Islam calls for the subjugation of the entire world. And how Muhammad said in a video, I saw the east of the east and the west of the west, and I saw that Islam ruled over all that I saw. So Islam is going to rule, and Islam is going to make Jews and Christians submit as second-class citizens. Everyone else is given the choice of converting or dying. Are we imagining this? Is this just propaganda? Because if it's propaganda, we can show you an endless array of dawah guys who are saying this is what they're trying to implement. Just propaganda? So like propaganda from who? From Muslims? Anyway.
Yeah. So we are seeing these extremist elements in Islam, for example, that are found in the words of Muhammad. You know, the extremist elements like Muhammad himself, which is why we're concluding that Islam is, of course, a political, violent ideology. Otherwise, if we didn't see those extreme elements, which are directly fundamental to Islam, we wouldn't be coming to those conclusions. For example, here, when it says some zanadiqa, it says atheists, but that doesn't really mean atheists, were brought to Ali and he burnt them. The news of this event reached Ibn Abbas, who said, if I had been in his place, I would not have burned them, as Allah's messenger forbade it, saying, do not punish anybody with Allah's punishment. Oh, look, wow, very nice. Muhammad forbid it. Muhammad said, don't punish. Oh, wait a minute. I would have killed them according to the statement of Allah's messenger, who said, whoever changes his Islamic religion, kill him. Yeah. The extreme elements like Muhammad here, whose conduct and teachings are supposed to be imitated by every single Muslim around the world. This is what we're dealing with.
But of course, but we also see it now with Zionists, the Jews, in the UK,
By the way, that passage is interesting because you read in Tabari, you read about Abu Bakr burning people.
Yeah.
And then, so all the way to the time when Ali is ruling and he's burning people. And then Ibn Abbas jumps in there and says, wait a minute, fire is the punishment of Allah. Allah punishes people with fire. And we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to punish people in some other way. It's just shows you how sloppy things were in early Islam, where you have from the first of the rightly guided caliphs to the last of the rightly guided caliphs, they're burning people this entire time. It's not until later on Ibn Abbas reminds them, hey, you're not supposed to be burning people. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, thanks.
Oh, but David, you're saying that they were sloppy, but there are also elements in Zionism that are also sloppy. Zionists can also be very sloppy.
Okay. Everything I say, I stand refuted. Thanks, Sully.
I have been commanded to fight against the people until they testify that there is no God but Allah, that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. And
wait, against who? Against who?
Against
people,
who?
Against aggressors?
Against the people.
Against people who are attacking? Against invaders? Against Zion? Who?
Everybody. Everybody.
People.
Everyone. Against everyone.
Guys, if you're a serious Muslim who takes these sources seriously, so you're a serious Sunni Muslim and you read this, you read what Muhammad was commanded to do. I've been commanded to fight. That sounds bad. To fight against whom? People who are attacking you? No. I've been commanded to fight against people. Oh, until they do what? Until they stop invading, until they stop persecuting, until what? Till they testify that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and they establish prayer and pay zakat. And if they do it, their blood and property are guaranteed protection. When are you protected? When you convert to Islam and you start following all the practices. Until then, your blood is not safe, according to Muhammad. Yeah. This is AP. Can you imagine the level of technology the Zionists actually possess, that they built a time machine powered by 1.21 gigawatts of Islamophobia, traveled back to the time when Imam Muslim was putting this together and they put a gun to his head and they said, "You're going to write this stuff so that we can use it against you in the future as propaganda to make people think that Islam has political aspirations."
Yes, that's exactly what happened. But you're talking about Islamic political aspirations, but what you're disregarding is that Zionism also has political aspirations.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you. Yes, they want their own country.
Who does this hadith say? Who says Muhammad should be fought? He has been commanded to fight everyone. Everyone.
What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
Yeah.
Did you ever even see that movie, or you just stop the clip?
I've seen it like 5 times or 6 times.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Who should we send in there against the professional?
Everyone. Yeah, he says everyone. 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 Yeah.
It's great acting. That dude's awesome.
Yeah.
With his assessment. Okay. In terms of Arabs killing each other, that's also fake as well, but we'll talk about that. Like, I guess he's going to talk about Syria, but again, that was because of Western intervention.
Oh, yeah.
Say it, Sully. Run by Jews.
Because
fake as well, but we'll talk about
by Jews. Zionists.
Yeah, everything else, I agree with his assessment. In terms of Arabs killing each other, that's also fake as well, but we'll talk about that. Like, I guess he's going to talk about Syria, but again, that was because of Western intervention.
Okay. Was October 7th a military operation or a terrorist attack? Again, the question is...
It was an attempt to make peace and have fun together. It just went wrong at some point. And,
it wasn't. According to Daniel Hakikachu, it's a bunch of people running across the border to see if anyone needs medical assistance and to take them to hospitals.
Yes, that's precisely what happened. Precisely what happened. Diana said, what movie is that? It is Leon, the Professional.
The Professional.
The Professionnel. Leon, the Professionnel. Leon, the Professionnel with Jean Reno.
You know, it's funny. That was the one where the guy would take a pill and he would go as soon as he takes the pill.
Yeah.
I saw that in prison in a room full of inmates, and the inmates were all confused. They're like, "You ever seen a pill that works that fast, man?" They're like, "No." They're trying to figure out what pill this was. Oh, in the end, when he opens his hand, he's got the pins to all these grenades and blows it up. I cannot emphasize to you enough how much inmates were cheering as he was like gunning down as he's killing all these cops. Let's just say that.
Understandable.
The whole place was going nuts. It was like the Super Bowl in there.
Super Bowl. Off topic, and not sure if this was already said, but she was 9 years old. Guy is a Fuente-style anti-Semite. Earlier today on Nigerian Perspectives live stream, he unironically accused Jews of drinking blood. Very cringe. Well,
yeah.
I did see.
We still have
him. I did see somebody talk about him and say that he seems a little bit off. So yeah, I did see that. What did he say?
Yeah, we'd still probably want to talk to him because he's got a lot of cool points for that. She was 9 years old, but we'd have to talk to him about this other stuff.
I don't know. I might just talk to him in advance at first, and then if I see that that he wants to go into those directions, I might just not have him on at all. Honestly.
Or if he wants to actually have a discussion about it, like, hey, where are you getting that from?
Yeah. Because I would tolerate stuff like that for a discussion normally, but right now, getting enough of that already. Contemporary Compendium said in a car ride with Sneeko recently, Andrew Wilson and Made by Jim Bob had a small debate about why they are listening to the Quran if music is haram. Crickets. Well, I mean, you could make different arguments on that. One thing that I want to ask these people when they do these and use like humming noises and other kinds of noises is aren't you aware that instruments are basically also just that transformation of the wind and different things, arranging them into a tune and making music? Why are you using your humming for music? Isn't it the same thing? Moo Moo Joe said, even if the spit was true, remove head versus spit For your information, they spit on the floor, not at people. He's just vile. Yep, I know. That's what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure there are instances where they've actually spit on people and stuff, but if you see it, they walk past the person and then spit like kind of behind them in the person's direction. And again, that's a particular group. Keep in mind, I think that's disgusting practice, and they should be exposed and they should be called out. What sucks is that you kind of the people like Sulaiman have made it so that you can't call it out, right? Because I would want to call it out and be like, hey, you should be sharing videos of that, and that group should be shamed until they stop doing that. But that's not how these guys share it. They share it and say, see, this is how Christians are treated by Jews.
Yes.
And so they kind of ruin like even the possibility of just calling it out in a normal fashion to shame the people who are doing it.
We know what Christians do, right? Christians always, they go around carrying signs that say, God hates fags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what they do.
And Muslims go around blowing themselves up everywhere. Like, what? Man, it's just terrible. Here's a comment that I highlighted earlier for some reason, because we were just responding to Sulaiman, and I just insulted him and said, this guy is either stupid or totally dishonest, and it said ad hominem attacks because you're coping. LOL. Is this what
Christ taught you, AP? Seriously, as a devout atheist, is this how Jesus taught you to act?
Yes.
These ad hominem attacks.
Yes. I want to tell you something, Pearl. This is not an ad hominem attack. When I respond to something that Sulaiman is saying, right? And by the way, I'm not even having a discussion with him here. I'm just sitting here reviewing this stuff, and I'm saying, is this guy stupid or is he dishonest? And then I go into why. This is not an ad hominem attack. First off, I am not deflecting. Plus, I am actually talking about what he said and going into it in depth, and not distracting by saying, "Oh, look at it! This guy is so stupid. Therefore, you should just disregard everything this guy said." That's not how it works.
Yeah. So Pearl, this is the problem of people like learning a term and not understanding it. As far as an ad hominem being a fallacy, it's doing what AP just referred to. If it's done in place of a response, and so instead of this, so if someone makes this argument and says, "Here's my argument," and you say, "Well, you look stupid, so blah 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 blah," there you're attacking the person, and the argument has remained untouched. And it's a fallacy because you act like you've done something to the argument when you haven't touched the argument at all. So yeah, we're making fun of Sulaiman because we believe in making fun of people. We do. It's very important. If you think that is anti-Christian, I have no idea how you would even read the Gospels, because Jesus made fun of people pretty regularly. Usually people who are leading other people astray, like Sulaiman is doing. That's who he made fun of.
Didn't he employ sarcasm or like
a lot
sarcastic responses?
Yeah. When he says to the Pharisees, "You strain out a gnat but swallow a camel," he's talking about like how precise they're, because the most devout, so the biggest animal that they weren't allowed to eat was that they'd be familiar with as a camel. The smallest was a little gnat. So the extremely devout, right before they drank water, they would filter the water through a cloth to make sure that they didn't actually swallow a gnat. And he's pointing out all these injustices that they're, but notice, he's not saying they actually swallow a camel. He's making fun of them. He's like, "You guys are over there filtering out your water and stuff like this. Look at you. Oh, we've got our water. Look how holy and devout we are." And stuff. And he's saying, "You're swallowing a camel." So he's making, and it's funny because he's doing it in a way that would like actually stick. In other words, the next time one of these Pharisees is filtering his water through a cloth to make sure they're going to remember that. It's like, wait a minute, am I doing anything else unjust here? Because Jesus pointed out that we're doing all this messed up stuff, and we're being extremely careful about all these little minute details, and we're doing something way worse the entire time. So anyway, Jesus called people names. He called them snakes and fools and everything else. Used sarcasm, mocked them, Who did he? If you were an outcast of society, he was very, very nice to you. If you were a person in a position of authority over other people and you were leading them astray, he was going to insult you eventually.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what Christians do, and that's what atheists do, because we agree with Jesus on that. We agree
Michelle
with Jesus
said-
that you should insult people.
Michelle said, "Well, he had that Jewish humor." They're actually like this is a fun remark, but this just makes me think of multiple different things, which is one, yes, the Jewish humor that is still well alive today. It's pretty amazing. Number two, it reminds me of the gropers, who want to argue that Jesus was not a Jew because they hate Jews so much that they can't accept this, which is weird because they directly contradict with what Jesus himself said about himself. He was obviously Jewish. And third, this actually puts something into perspective that I think people don't see, especially when they try to abuse Christianity, like Fuento, and say, "Oh, Jews, look, Jesus said this about Jews." Jesus was a Jew. Jesus was in a Jewish environment when he spoke to Jewish authorities or Jewish teachers and said certain things to them. It was not him speaking as a non-Jew to Jewish people. It was him speaking to the authorities, to the people in his own community. It was not him attacking Jews.
It's an internal critique, not an external attack.
Yes, he wasn't attacking Jews. He was attacking people within his own community for doing things not the right way. And this is a thing that I think the gropers and other neo-Nazis and Jew haters seem to miss so much, deliberately or not. But that's how you are supposed to read it. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Lonely Crow said, if Arab starts counting your age only after puberty, then it explains why so many children died in Gaza, especially the ones with the beards.
Mm-hmm. It does solve the mystery.
Man. Yes. Red Olympus, Athens' democracy in 508 BCE was stolen from Islam. Yes. Exactly. Alhamdulillah. Martyr Mouse, Mr. Aparelli. I tried listening to your first conversation with Danny the Pikachu today. I couldn't even get halfway. Such an insufferable TWAT period. To call him a potato would be an insult to potatoes. Can you imagine if you talked like that, like at that speed all the time? People actually endure that. People actually endure that and listen to the guy just because they hate Jews so much that they have to, just so they have to put him on screen.
And then they totally diss him when when he tries to rein in. Hey, let's not sound like we're calling for genocide here. So let's just say from the river to the sea, Palestinians will be free, right? And that way we're not calling for genocide. What do? They immediately put that guy in his place.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea. Man. Palestine will be free.
And he walks away thinking, these people, they are morons. Martyr Mouse. Oh, yeah, I already read this. What's wrong with you? Ayatollah Khamenei said David Attenborough narration. I can't even think about it right now. Witness this. No, I can't do it. I guess I need to watch something again. But yeah.
I can't recall. I'm sure I've heard it plenty of times, but I can't recall.
Witness the Scottish variety of the Abdul
Witness the
in his
Scottish
natural
variety of the
habitat,
Abdul in his natural
butchering
habitat.
both English and Arabic.
Can't do it. Something like that. Pretty good. D. Boudreau said, how many countries have suffered Islamic attacks? I googled what countries have Jews attacked for fun, and it just came back with attacks on Jews. See, this is what the Jews want you to believe. The Jews are manipulating the Google results to hide all the attacks that they are committing.
And they don't want you to know that they're actually behind all attacks by anyone.
Yes.
If I walk down the street and I punch someone in the face, it's because a Jew was pulling my strings.
Yes. In fact, this super chat looks like it's a super chat by the Zionists. Yeah. Just to confuse us. Nose 2 might say debate topic, best choice, 1.6 billion Muslims or a cow.
You have to get Mossab on here. Imagine having a debate, and that's the topic.
Okay, I have to watch something. I have to watch something together though from his conversation with Gad Sayed. What Gad Sayed had him on.
You go through his debate with that dude.
What?
Carl, whatever. He had a debate in a university with the dude.
Not Carl. You mean
what was the guy's name?
What's the guy's name? Mossab versus Lamont Mark something.
Oh yeah,
Lamont. Lamont. Whatever his name is. Lemon juice.
Lamont Hill was it?
Something like that. I don't know.
You've done basically is exactly that, because you've said, I'm willing to give up all
with Gaza and the tragedy there, but also can be Satan. And I don't like to see masked people on campuses interrupting the educational process, because this is exactly what Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood did during the first Palestinian Intifada. They targeted schools, campuses, then immediately after they targeted economy.
Yeah, Mark. See, it sounds exactly like Carl. Mark, Carl, same thing.
I think it's actually interchangeable. Mark, Carl. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
if I know
why
someone named Mark. If I know someone named Mark, I'm definitely calling him Carl. Just so everyone knows.
Yeah, that's why, for example, the name Karl Marx came into existence, because they thought, oh yeah, just his Mark or Carl, what does it matter? So.
An intifada in the United States. In the United States, it's the way of dialogue. We have elections, we have democracy, we debate. Some of us win, some of us lose. Those who lose. I
know. I'm being told to turn the volume up, but the video is very low volume. It's not in my hands. Not in my hands.
Yeah, guys. The only way to fix that is to actually download the video, then adjust the volume in an editing program, then play it from there, and that's beyond the capability during a live stream.
That is now wide spread in the United States and in the West. It is not a true story. So, with that said, Palestinians can be whatever they want to be. As long as they drop their mad idea to annihilate Israel. As long as they drop violence as a mean of achieving political agendas. So, if they want to practice Islam, I see them praying on the sidewalk. I see also dog walking around the street, and it's about the same for me.
Oh boy, here comes the death threat. Here come the death threats.
Man, this is a typical Mossab Hassan Yusuf comment, and he doesn't care.
I see them on the ground, and I see a dog crapping on the ground, and I think it's all the same to me. Look at Gad said. Mossab, what's hilarious is everyone else who hears what Mossab says cracks up laughing at how messed up it is. He's dead serious on his face.
I know,
it's the same thing with I choose the cow.
Yeah, and God is like, oh no, here come the death threats. And Mossab is
can't believe he just said that.
Serious, totally serious. It's so messed up. Oh man, how about no? I don't buy your proletarian. I still don't know what he meant actually. I wish
someone needs to combine just all his little word salads there.
What in the hell was it even?
Put him into one video.
by Brett Weinstein or whatever the name is. So you've got these ideas in many cultures.
You got these ideas in many cultures. Yeah.
In terms of what you said, of course, we received democracy from the Greeks, but you know how we got that information?
Yes, we got it from
Able to attack Islam, and he's fine. He even said, I hate Islam, sorry, but he would never say about I hate Judaism, even though Judaism culture in current times. When he's mentioned about advancements, that's right in current times, but then obviously that's failing and it's ignoring the entire history, right? So what that demonstrates is you don't need to be a specific culture or religion, because if you look at history, it was many of the advancements that were made both in science, culture, literature, the Renaissance in terms of Greek philosophy, theology, science, all of it came from the Islamic civilizations. So that they weren't backward, they were actually visionary in the past. Obviously things develop, things change. In terms of Islam being
they were visionary, but sadly it just didn't last.
It didn't.
They were great visionaries for a couple of years.
Allows all religions, cultures, and psychologies within it. Now, in terms of what he's talking about in terms of freedom, I'm for all the freedom. The problem is we're seeing against Judaism, you speak against Zionism, gulags. You're not allowed to right now in the United States. You can't even do BDS. In the
United States, you can't even bang the sheep.
Yes, there are extreme elements in Islam. One isn't going to deny. And so extremism is bred from different ideas, cultures, and it's even from atheism. We've seen the huge amount that's happened in terms of atheism. So extremism is everywhere. Now, in terms of Islam, I've got no issue with people being Muslim, Christian. They could be what they want, right? No problem whatsoever. My issue is when there's dual standards. So someone like Destiny feels pretty chill about attacking Muslims. No problem. All good. As long as you're willing to debate the ideas, right? But the same type of people basically lose their minds if you're willing to talk about Judaism. They'll call you anti-Semitic. They'll want to put you in jail. So there is the dual standards, and Judaism has the same standards that Islam has.
You're an atheist. Didn't you actually do a debate on Judaism?
I did.
Yeah, you had a debate. Daniel Hakikachu, who basically is has the same mindset as Sulaiman here. Except Daniel Hakikachu is a bit more honest in that he actually will acknowledge what he wants in the world and stuff like that. But you actually had a debate. The debate was on modern day debate. You guys have debates on this stuff. And he's saying, everyone is scared of addressing this. You can't even talk about it. You'll go to jail. You go to the gulag, blah, 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 blah.
Actually, very good point, because Daniel Hakikachu himself still has not published that debate on his own channel, with the excuse that YouTube censor because we talk about Judaism. The debate is on Modern Day Debate, and it's on my channel as well. And it has 150,000 views right now at this point, or more, 170 something, I don't know. But people are watching it, and it's right there. Nobody took it down. The guy's just making an excuse there. That's it.
Difference is someone like Destiny won't call them out, and obviously we know why. So when you say you run the world,
and this guy is sitting here on the Fresh and Fit podcast blaming everything that happens in the world on Jews, while simultaneously saying you're just not allowed to criticize Jews.
But not from a covert perspective.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know where he's at the papa. Not sure where that happens. Not sure where he said that. I hope maybe he can clear. Maybe we can ask him what did you mean by what exactly does that mean? Maybe he'll clarify that one day. I don't know. He hosts spaces sometimes on Twitter. He hosts spaces sometimes on Twitter to have these discussions. I'm thinking people should join the spaces when he hosts one and just raise their hands and ask him. Dear Sulaiman Ahmed, you said something about plotitarians. What exactly did you mean? Can you please clarify?
What was that you were saying about marmalade or marinara?
Oh man. Historic liter. Oh yeah, here I got it. Wait a minute, got it.
Within and based on your own argument, it will end. And actually, many historians say that the proletarians within any society become the dominant. And right now, according to even historical literature, the
Wait a minute, look at this. The captions, the automatic captions say proletarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pro Earthlings. Is that what is it?
Yeah, we all know. The Protarians. The Protarians. They take over in any culture, and right now Muslims are the Protarians.
The pro Earthlings.
No.
So the pro Earth
Yeah.
people. Yeah, they are.
Come on, Greta Thunberg is the Protarian, guys. Greta Thunberg. Get it right. Not Muslims.
Even the automatic captions are like, what the hell did he just say?
Within any society become the dominant, and right now, according to even historical literature, the proletarians are the Muslims.
Yeah, think about that. What he just said. According to historical literature, right now, the Muslims are the proletarians. According to the historical literature, guys, what does it take to realize this guy's just spouting complete nonsense?
There is no such word.
That his fault. I'm just saying, like if you combine it and insert any word there, according to the historical literature, the proletarians are the Muslims right now. What historical literature shows that Muslims are anything that word could possibly mean? Sully,
like I Google it and it says, "Did you mean totalitarian?" Yeah.
It's funny if he's actually a genius and this is a debate tactic. It's like, well, if no one actually understands anything that I say and it's all just gibberish, then they won't be able to refute me now, innit?
Yeah.
Say that the proletarians within any society become the dominant, and right now, according to even historical literature, the proletarians are the Muslims.
The proletarians.
You heard it. The proletarians are the Muslims right now, according to the historical literature. I'm not sure which historical literature, but it's Sully, so we know that historical literature is out there. So he can give us his reading list.
I don't get it, because the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, is he trying to say proletarians? But then how does that make sense? That would be the working class, but that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I don't get it. It's
according to the historical literature, the bourgeoisie, then that's the Muslims right now, and they're going to dominate society.
I want to just join Destiny's live stream sometime and ask him
if he agrees.
Do you know what he said? What is this? Like, even the captions are like, what is going on? The Gargat trees are a plant in the genus Lycium, which include goji berries. So feed your kids goji berries to protect against Muslims. This is only a speculation, though, I think. Because nobody really actually know what the Gargat tree is. The Gargat tree. True. The Gargat tree. The Gargat tree. Okay, it's the Gargat tree. Nobody knows what the Gargat tree actually is.
Want someone to find out, because I want an orchard of those things.
Yeah, please, somebody find what the Gargat trees are, so I can plant some Gargat trees in my backyard and eat them all, or something like that. Maybe we should distribute Gargat trees all over Israel so that Jews can plant Gargat trees everywhere in Israel. Like Muslims already think they do. Alejandro Sudiro said, I am convinced that Islam is not man-made. Although I also believe that Islam is not the truth from God. So are you saying that this guy created Islam? Is that what you're saying? Because he did. And by the way, I'm not sure what you think this is, but this is Muhammad. Momo Jew says, some Jews spit on the floor. Most Jews condemn that 3,000 Muslims entered homes. Our people remove human parts. All the Muslims celebrate it. Yep, the same. It is precisely the same thing. Yep, all Muslims do that stuff. Noamto made a super chat and said, DYK, that public EG radio Saud al-Arab in the 50s and 60s said they'll turn Israel to fish food. Get an appetite fish of the sea. By example, Muhammad Said, also men to the sea, women to us. Oh, really? This is the stuff that they do. They want to turn Israel into fish food. Old Duck, which actually is Odd Duck 97, says, I can't stay for the whole stream, but I always enjoy you guys talking about Momo the Chomo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is a good name, Momo the Chomo.
pretty based. Cup of Indian tea said the West stole the far forestine homework. Oh, that is true. That is true. That is true. Noemto said if anyone says from the river doesn't call for genocide, you literally have recordings of public Arab radio broadcasting it, which popularized it. Yeah. Yeah. If anyone says from the yeah. That is what it is for. I mean, there should be no debate about it. It's quite obvious. It means destroy Israel. All of this belongs to, will be Palestine, shall be Palestine. Get rid of the Zionists. That's what it was always about. Anyone who denies this or tries to change it is just a liar. That's it. Admittedly, there are some brainless, ignorant people who don't know what they're talking about, who jumped into this conflict. But most people are lying about it. Lord Stannis, by the way, never buy crackling from a molehill. Yes. What does that even mean? I don't English.
Don't know.
EMS said there are only two kinds of people who are obsessed with missing Jewish foreskins: Jew haters and me, because I have a bad case of Kippah fever. Huh. That's interesting. Artai Bretema said Lucas Cage used to go by Angelo John Cage and belonged to one of those groups until he disappeared and came back with a new name and internet persona. Huh. I didn't know about that. I mean, the guy is obviously a Nazi, so I did not see anything about him before this whole issue escalated. Apostate Prostate, Proud Irishman, says, that looks kind of like me. Dear Diary, day 176, hiding from Talmud extremists. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what they do. Jesse, I just discovered some history about the Moroccan soldiers in World War II fighting alongside the French, raped over 60,000 men, women, children in Italy. I thought the Germans and Russians were bad. The French. You can't trust the French, man. Sulaiman shows what, David?
What? He's talking about the Moroccans, weirdo.
I know. It's talking about.
But I wouldn't trust the French either.
Yeah. DK said, Sulaiman shows how to manipulate public perception. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Analogous to the conflict. Optics, truth. Destiny, get a suit. No, I think Destiny shouldn't get a suit. In fact,
no, he wouldn't be Destiny in a suit.
Yes, he would be Destiny's child if he got a suit.
In fact, he needs to go back to blue hair.
Yes. He needs to be Destiny. Don't get a suit. Isn't there a saying? Is there a saying in English on how putting something like a suit on you won't change your nature? There's a saying always in all kinds of different languages about how putting something nice on you won't turn you into something different.
In America, we say you can't polish a turd.
See? Quite concise. And in this case here, that's what they were going for. Didn't work. Asbjörn Lomborg said there's a combined 30 IQ points in those comments. How could you say this? Jack Emov, Mr. Bukaki, are you you're raped in the mind? Mark Roman, AP got bombed so hard he ended up in Germany. Actually, it was different. So I was first in Germany, where nothing was happening. Then we moved to Turkey. In Turkey, I got bombed to the ground so hard that I ended up in America. And now I'm scared to go back to a Muslim country because they get bombed to the ground all the time. Stefan the Pelted, Golden Age, not to be confused with Golden Shower, was built upon ruins of Romans and Persian usurped their intellectuals while can't reproduce the same on their own. Even takfiring the scientists. That's what they do.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Yeah, guys, so just to imagine a modern parallel, imagine a Muslim army suddenly, imagine a Western nation start attacking each other and they become really weak, and then Muslims come in and just take over. Well, all of a sudden, Muslims would have access to a ton of science and a ton of learning, ton of universities, all that stuff. They'd have all that stuff right then. Islam would eventually suffocate it, and it would all eventually die out.
Alhamdulillah.
and then the future generations would say, look what we had. We had such a great culture back then. What? When you conquered another place that had it and then you destroyed it?
Yeah, look, Chloe agrees with me. Good on you, AP. Don't give the guy airtime. File. Yeah, I'll have to check it. I'll have to see. Have to check it out. Sunflower says Jews have more in common with atheists than theists. I don't even know where you're coming from and what you're going, what you're on about. What are you on about? Do you remember that woman? That was debating with Mossab. What are you on about? Avi Genuth said, David Wood, I asked AP, peace be upon him, a while ago if the Israel-Hamas war sums up Amos 8:7 pretty well. Being a donkey-headed atheist, he didn't know. What do you think, David?
Amos
I don't think you need to remind
8:7.
us, since you know all of these things by heart.
I
Is
asked
it?
AP a while ago if the Israel-Hamas war
You didn't read the whole thing. It says, oh yeah, okay.
sums up Amos 8:7 pretty well. Being a donkey-headed atheist, he didn't know. What do you think?
I shall open my Tanakh now to see what it says. What do you say, David?
I don't know. Amos 8:7 says, the Lord has sworn by himself, the pride of Jacob, I will never forget anything they have done.
Alhamdulillah. So the answer is no. What do you think?
Yeah.
David says no. That's what David says. Urinating Broom says, remember when people used to say Islam means peace? Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well, Urinating Broom. And some people actually, Urinating Broom, still say Islam means peace, of course. I wouldn't expect this from you, Urinating Broom, but some people obviously still have this whole messed up idea, this whole wrong idea, this whole misunderstanding that Islam means peace. But thank you, dear Urinating Broom, for bringing this to our attention. It is, in fact, not true. Islam does not mean peace and is not peaceful. But thank you for your super chat, Urinating Broom. Stefan de Pelted, I already read this. Ari Wasserman said, people correctly found jokes I made in the heat of the moment during the live stream about Rahma Zain's debate with Masabaz and Youssef inappropriate and misogynistic. For that, I honestly and sincerely apologize. Huh. Here's the thing, Ari. You have been so humorous on this channel so far that I'm not supposed to. I'm not sure if this is actually serious or not. But in case you are, in case it is serious, yes, that's good. 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 Thank you. Striker A said, little known fact, the Jews both caused the Iran-Iraq war and they made Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait. Oh, and the Afghan communist coup in 1978. Yeah, there's also the Jews were responsible for the extinction of dinosaurs, and there was also actually a recent article which it's not entirely completely accepted by the scientific community, but it has been introduced as a hypothesis that that Israel and Jews were actually behind what is now known as the Big Bang. But I would still wait for further investigations and further research by scientists. Michelle G said, the founder of Islam, Muhammad, versus the founder of Christianity, Jesus Christ. The difference is darkness versus light. Everything is different in their teachings. That's exactly what Destiny said. You know, you're just copying Destiny.
Well, but Sneeko says Jesus is a Muslim, so that solves it.
But Sneeko says that Muslim just means somebody who submits, upon which it can be responded that somebody who wears a gimp suit is also a Muslim. So that's that. And in fact, you could then infer that you can also refer to a gimp suit as a Muslim suit.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I'm sure
it's my thawb,
which I'm sure Mohammed Hijab would really appreciate. But yeah, no, I agree. There is a huge contrast between Jesus and Muhammad, morally completely different people, and decent people should prefer one over the other. And of course, by that I mean they should prefer Muhammad. Yeah. Just kidding. Don't even think for a second that somebody could take this seriously. Nobody shall take this seriously. Of course, you should prefer Jesus over Momo. Mankind's prophet said this is for poor, homeless David. This is true. David, since when are you homeless?
I don't know.
Mrs.
I'll take
Weasel says David Wood the other night regarding Sneeko at 12201. Sneeko says the Quran is unchanging. At 13442, Destiny pokes back with static, unchanging holy book. 13525, Sneeko calls the Quran perfect. Huh. David,
We didn't go through that, did we?
we didn't go through that, no.
I might need to go through that because that was after his discussion with Chris, where Chris broke down the 10 different kirat, and Sneeko said, "Yeah, I'll study that. I'll study that," and obviously didn't. I might want to do something about that. I want to call him out for that.
That's big.
In other words, pretty easy to put those clips together. Here's where it was explained to you, and it was explained exactly where you can find the evidence. And here's you pretending that never happened.
That's cool. That's cool. Martyr Mouse said business idea. Move to Israel, open a gentleman's club, call it the Gaza Strip. Pretty sure somebody did that already.
The Gaza Strip Club.
I was referring to people in Gaza as the Gaza strippers because I didn't know how else to call them. But then I found out that that's apparently not appropriate. So I stopped doing that. Creamo the Dreamer with a very inappropriate profile picture of food says, what do you make of anti-Zionist Jews? Are they the cultural equivalent of Sephardim who once said better the Turkish turban than the papal tiara? It depends on which Jews you're talking about. There are those who are anti-Zionist Jews who are secular people, and then there are those who religiously motivated are anti-Zionist Jews. Completely different motives, completely different purpose, completely different attitudes. Depends on who we are speaking to. I can't say very much about the religious side, except for the Netanyahu Carter, who are just despicable people.
Yeah, I think the religious ones believe that the punishment for breaking the covenant was that they would be scattered among the nations, and that's not being fixed until the Messiah returns. And if you decide to do it yourself, it would be kind of like the red heifer group saying we're doing this, even though what they view as a prophecy is that the Messiah is going to do it. It's like we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and do it ourselves. So I think they regard taking the land back as like, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be doing this right now. You're supposed to sit back and wait and take your punishment until the Messiah returns.
Yes.
Or if you try to trump that, you're like delaying the coming of the Messiah because you guys are in more rebellion. I think it's something like that. But I definitely do not fully grasp the reasoning.
Yes. There is I remember Dr. Ahmed both talking about this issue and also making a tweet, which I always liked, which I always had that handy, just like her book that I always have handy here, which is this one, which says we should all be Zionists. But she was
even Muslims should be
Zionists. Yes.
Even Sulaiman Ahmed should be a Zionist.
Yes, even he should be. But she was explaining how when she speaks to students, it is always very interesting when they figure out that when religious anti-Zionists are against the state of Israel, they are actually for Zionism. They are for the existence of Israel, just not now, but later. Mm-hmm. So it is a funny realization that people get.
Well, it is funny because you'll have these guys side by side with Muslims, and Muslims will be saying, "You see, these are the true Jews." Wait, those guys believe they're taking the land. They're going to have the land. They're going to have the land. It's not going to belong to Islam. It's not going to belong to followers of Muhammad. It's not going to happen. They're going to have it in the end.
Yes, yes. Of course, they don't care about that. They just want somebody. They just want these people to help them for now and use them as useful idiots. And this is basically what they are. I wish I could speak to. Obviously, this would not reach many people, not even a handful of those anti-Zionist Jews, whether they are anti-Zionist religious Jews or anti-Zionist secular Jews. No matter what you do, you side with them, with Muslims especially, in their endeavor. And what you don't realize is that to them you are just useful idiots. That's what you are. You are actually to them useful idiots. That's how they see you. Useful idiots who will just help us fight this whole evil Israel thing. They don't care about you. They just want to use you. That's it. Some of them want to use you. But yeah, I would say that all of them can eat cake. Yep. Terrible people. Moo Cow said 72 is too generous. Oh yeah, and when we talk about secular Jewish anti-Zionists, don't even get me started. Moo Cow says 72 is too generous. His obsession with Jews places him near Gaza IQ, 67.9. This is very, very disrespectful and factual. 00Govan00 says, you guys heard Susan Sarandon and Friends hit single? What? Really? I have no idea what this is even about or what this is saying. Avi getting with David Wood. I already read this. What's wrong with you, man? Goat Hop says, Islam may not be the future, but goats can be in yours. Oh, hey, AP, we changed our logo back just for you, baby. I appreciate this very much. Thank you, Goat Hop, and much success. Thank you.
Hang on, dang.
What?
The standard progressive matrices was standardized in the Gaza Strip in 2012-2013 on a sample of 1,678 boys and 1,817 girls aged 8 to 18 years. The sample obtained a British IQ of 67.9.
Yep.
Their IQ, compared with an average of 100, is 67.9.
You're not supposed to talk about this. This is very offensive.
That's pretty bad. That's like, isn't that like below the retarded mark?
You're not supposed to talk about this, man. This is very, 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 this is very, very disrespectful.
I got another one. No, there was another one with 257 children age 6 to 11.5.
Children.
Tested individually. They obtained a British IQ of 85. So that's better. That's kind of in the dumb range, but not the...
There are different methods and different graphs and different findings, and I think there's for one, there's like a 10 or 15 point difference between the Gazan population and the Israeli population, which is, I don't know what to say. But
there's a Palestinian average IQ 83, Jewish average IQ 113.
This is very disrespectful. You're not supposed to talk about that.
Over 30% of marriages in Gaza between first cousins, average IQ 67.9.
But it's because the Zionists.
For comparison, Forrest Gump's IQ, it was 75.
It's because Zionists keep them stupid. That's why it happens. It's all the Zionists. What you're not taking into consideration is Zionism. Urinating Broom said, but why did it stop at the borders of Europe? Well, because it just
didn't work.
Because it wasn't successful there.
Didn't work there. Why are you stuttering?
Why stuttering?
Suddenly he said, if David Wood did something bad, it would only be 2.7% his fault. That's true.
Yeah. I'm 2.7% Jewish, ladies and gentlemen. So if I do something bad, it's 2.7 my fault.
Alhamdulillah.
2.7%.
Sorry, Hosea87 says Avi Ginuth.
Oh, Hosea 87. You didn't even get the reference right, and now it's my fault.
Yes, it's your fault. It's always your fault. Always your fault. is all the Jewish.
Yeah. If you want to apply that, they sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. Yeah, I mean, in context, that's Israel. That's Israel doing something, but you can apply that as a principle. That has become a sort of a saying. You sow the wind and reap the whirlwind.
Aisha's goat. Hey, what's up? Says, can we get more warriors for Christ instead of cowards for hippies? You can always get whatever you want. I heard if you just put your mind to it, you can do anything and get anything you want. So that's that.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's that old Rolling Stone song. If you can always get what you want.
Wow. Alhamdulillah. Pondering Jew says, David seriously censored my super chat when you guys went live on your channel.
Pondering Jew. If you want,
how can New Testament be reliable if Acts 7:16 states cave of patriarch is located in Nablus?
Hey, Pondering Jew. If you include in your chat message, without lies, Christianity dies, I reserve the right to just ignore you. So learn to actually ask questions in a more respectful fashion instead of without lies, Christianity dies.
This is
and
actually
then come
an
back and ask a question.
This is actually an Islamic account, by the way.
Yeah, not shocking.
This is an Islamic account, definitely. Dankworth Baltazar said, what Jew standard is he complaining about? The Jewel standard. The Jew standard. Noam Cho says, how could historical literature talk about now? Well, didn't you listen? Didn't you listen? I mean, he said it right there. He said the
Proletarian
since said that historical literature talks about now, especially when you talk about the Renaissance. That is exactly what happens. See? Gwyneth Isaac said proto-totalitarians or proto-totalitarians both fit. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Because he's saying it's Muslims.
Yep. Red Olympics said sell some Rarqat tree merch. I should.
Ooh,
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
If you get a shirt with a Garka tree on it and say now you're safe.
That's a good idea.
Wear this shirt. It's like camouflage to Muslims.
This is the second fantastic idea that I've heard in a while regarding merch. The first one actually came from you. When I said at some point, real men leave Islam. And you said you should put that on a shirt. And I thought to myself, hey, wait a minute, that's a good idea. So
it's totally
good. Yes. Garga tree shirts. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
So there are multiple trees that could be the Garka tree. No one knows. So you just have to pick one. You have to pick whichever one would look coolest. Yeah, pick whichever one would look coolest on a tree. But you got to put like mouth and eyes on it and stuff.
I will. It talks. It has to somehow. It has to say. It has to not give anything away, despite having a mouth and nose and eyes and all that. That's how it is. That's what they do.
We should make we should make a video about Muslims waterboarding a Garkid tree to try and find out where the Jews are hiding, like torturing the Garkid tree.
I did hear the theory before that the Gargat tree in the Hadith may be referring to the Christmas tree. So I did hear the theory before.
There are actually like journal articles trying to figure out what the Garkid tree is.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
They are actual science. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. Yes.
Jews are reading the Quran and the Hadith and the Islamic history more than ever before, more than their own Torah and other Jewish scriptures. Why would they do so? They are using the scriptures and history of Islam to prepare for the war with Muslims, the great war of Armageddon.
I really want to go to some rabbis and make them watch this video and see what they think about it. See their initial reactions.
Yeah, Armageddon ready to go ask these rabbis about why they're planting so many garlic trees.
Well, and they will say, "Well, why are you asking me? I'm getting ready for the war."
Yeah, they'll say, "We have no idea what you're talking about," and Sulaiman will say, "You see, this is proof that they're lying.
See, they're clearly preparing something. That's why they are saying we have no idea. Otherwise, they would say it openly."
In a rapidly changing world where challenges seem to emerge from every corner of the globe, right now, the outside world is unpredictable and even unsafe. These fitnas are taking over the world. Dr. Bilal Phillips recognized this pressing need, and so came the International Open University with the best mentors.
Really, man? Gosh.
And in the rest of the world generally have been planting a specific type of tree inside and around their homes. And every now and then, we keep on receiving news about Jews planting new forests of the Gharqad.
News from where? Where do you get these news from? Who is telling you about this? Where do you get these news from? Which news? Can you share those news with us? And I'm not saying nudes. I'm saying news. Can you share the news with us of people of Israelis planting garlic trees?
Hey, your mic is massively distorted now. Remember it used to do that? You sound terrible.
How about now?
How about no? Yeah, you sound fine now.
That's weird. That was very, very weird.
Trees such as around the West Bank and the Masjid al-Aqsa area. The Gharqad tree is...
I'm really curious, where exactly around the Al-Aqsa area are they planting trees?
is known as the trees of the Jews. And now, thanks to all the recent news reports and social media postings, Gharqad tree is being associated explicitly with the Jews living in Palestine.
Yeah, thanks to all the posts by Muslims, now they're just... Jews, are you watching this? Israelis here, are you watching this? These people actually think that you guys are aware of these ridiculous prophecies about the end and the Gharqad trees, which is the tree of the Jews, which will not give you away, while all of the other trees and rocks will say there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him. These guys actually think that you all are aware of this stuff and you are all desperately planting these trees.
But why is that? Why only this tree? If you go through all the religious scriptures, including Bible and the Torah, only one source has linked Gharqad trees and the Jews, and that is Quran and Hadith.
It's actually not mentioned in the Quran, it's in the Hadiths, and what a funny thing to say. We only find this in the Quran. We only find this in Islamic scripture. You see? Okay, yeah. So what? Now can you show us evidence that Jews are actually doing this in Israel? No. And in the entire video, it will not happen. Because this is what they do. This is what they do. They go with these ridiculously idiotic conspiracy theories. And the audience, the Muslim audiences, actually believe them. Okay. This is the most unhinged video I've seen in all of 2024. At least some reasonable people here. But around that, you will see stuff like, whatever they do, they will not succeed. Allah will punish them. These people are retarded. There is no other way to put it. I'm sorry. This is why you will always be miserable, Muslims. This is why the Muslim world will always be miserable, while those very people that you accuse, the Jews, are prospering. And then you complain again and say it was the Jews. The Jews made us complain about the Jews, so we couldn't develop. Hey, Isa, what's up? Isa Kabir said, how are you all doing? Anti-Semitism is a real problem. It is indeed. Thank you for pointing that out. Alhamdulillah. Christopher Keating said, it makes perfect sense. The proletarians are the oppressed class in Marxism, and the Muslims are in the new oppressed classes for neo-Marxists. That's the only way I could see it, but it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. AP saying it. Yes, I am. Jeshurun said, "Will hiding behind cannabis trees." That's a good idea. If Jew have a plan to protect them, what about the Christians then? Christians don't need protection because they will be taken care of in different way. Because Jews bad, and even nature will say, oh, we know what is this. We know we hate Jews too. The tree will say, Muslim, come over here. Look at me, Muslim, come over here. Come here, Abdullah. There is a Jew behind me. Kill Jew. That's what the trees will say in the Islamic future. Red Olympus says, unfortunately, the spitting video comes to the top of the results when you search about the religion. That's because people are retarded. Grace174 says he means to say proletariat. He's just doing a bad Marxist analysis. Proletariat. How Muslims will rise up from being oppressed because they're little guys. I don't even know. It doesn't even make sense. Even in that sense, it doesn't even make sense. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Gnome2 says if someone is ignorant and they give an ignorant statement, they're liars because they lie that they know what they're talking about. Kind of. David, what are you obsessed with right now?
What?
What are you looking at?
Bunch of stuff.
German AP said the future is German. Look at this profile picture. Phobos Hostess made a super chat. Thank you so much for the shekels from Mossad directly. Gnome 2, is David's 2% Jew DNA what separates him from chimps? It is, I think. I think it is. Jack says, I'll buy a tree shirt for sure. I hope you do so. I hope you do so. Pondering Jew said, David Wood didn't mean disrespect. That's exactly what someone who disrespects would say. Just a truth seeker. That's exactly what somebody who doesn't seek truth would say.
Just a truth seeker who said, who finished my comment with, without lies, Christianity dies.
Said that to give you a taste.
The rule is if you say without lies, Christianity dies, you're under a 1-month penalty. Then come back and ask your stupid question. Until then, I'm not interested.
See, David can't take criticism. He likes to dish out, but he can't take it himself.
We take it all day long. You're not starting up that line around me, sport.
Said that to give you a taste of your medicine. See, that's exactly
my
what
own medicine.
David doesn't want to give medicine. I'm Israeli, not Muslim. Yeah, that's exactly what
giving you your own medicine. All right, you can give me my own medicine on your show.
That's exactly what a non-Israeli and a Muslim would say. But yeah, would appreciate if you could answer the question. That's exactly what someone would say who wouldn't appreciate the question.
You come back 1 month, ask your question in a respectful manner.
Okay, I will send your question to David every day to see what he says.
No, you can wait a month. I'll block you all.
Red Olympus said stupid merch ideas could be bonsai trees with label or custom pets.
Hey, you should start selling chia things, but call them garca trees, since no one knows what they are.
This reminds me that I've always had this fake bonsai tree here. I could just use this as garbage tree.
You could have it. You could have it in front of you while you're talking, even while you're live streaming, and be like peek out from behind it.
Yeah. Right. This really doesn't defeat the allegations that I just have all kinds of different things in my background and just pull them out whenever, all kinds of random things.
Yeah, it's like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Look at it. This tree will never say a single word. Not sure how it's supposed to hide anyone though. Look at this. Anyway. So, Prophetess says Momo loved his leather strap-ons. This is very, very disrespectful. I like it. Jack said, I'll buy a tree shirt for sure. I hope you do. Red Olympus said, personalized watering can, Rarkat tree grower. Well, that's very nice. That's very, very
That would be
nice.
cool. Watering can. Get your own watering can. Garlic tree
Yeah.
grower. And garlic tree seeds.
Grower. Sheikh Ma Wingeling says if the trajectory continues as it is, Islam will fall due to stupidity. That's what happens. That's what happens.
Imbecile.
The creepy part is that if you get enough stupid
Stupidity.
people, they can do a lot of damage to the world.
Alhamdulillah. I should go. Yeah, I should. This is funny. I should have my goat sit here and play with the. Like always hang out
That's good.
on the tree. I should put this in the background. Yeah. And then sometimes the goat is bored. Anyway. Palestine is not a place or a people. It's a political movement to genocide all humans capable of critical thinking. This is true. It's funny because the whole Palestinian identity, I mean, this is actually you could say that, you could make that argument that, so the Palestinian people back in the times of the British mandate for Palestine or mandatory Palestine, Palestinian just referred to anyone who was there. And especially, actually, to the Jewish population that was there, that was in preparation or in hopes of creating their own Jewish state and declaring independence. Those were the Palestinians. Palestine only became afterwards associated with this exclusive identity of those local Arabs who are not part of Israel. Before that, Jews were called Palestinian. Israel was called Palestinian. Palestine football team was the Israeli football team, and so on. But the Palestinian identity also didn't come into existence on its own. It came into existence just in order to counter the Israeli existence. And the aim is just to get rid of Israel. If there was no Israel, it would probably be part of Syria or part of a greater Arab state. It is only an identity because Zionism is there, because Israel exists. So the whole Palestinian identity is just dependent on the existence of Zionism, on the existence of Israel. It all depends on just...
So you're blaming the Jews, just like Sully.
Yeah. It all just depends on destroying Israel. That's it. Palestinian identity means destroying Israel. That's what it is. They owe their whole existence to Israel, the Jews, the Zionists. You see? And yes, you could twist this and say, you see, the Zionists created Palestinians.
AP admits it.
Yeah, well, the Zionists should look at the Palestinians and say, I am your father. Noam Tussad is David's. Yes, it is. Inquiring Reality. Why does this look like a ripoff of Inspiring Philosophy? But Inquiring Reality said, buy yourself some proletariat totalitarian marinara. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to put those sounds together and put them on the soundboard. Proletariat marinara. Pondering Jew said, David Wood, just doing this to invite you both to the B'nai Noach, the Noahides. David Wood and AP truly appreciate all the work you do against Islam. Thank you. Thank you, Pondering Jew. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's the same guy who 5 seconds ago was, without lies, Christianity dies.
Why are you attacking this very nice person? Look at this. Red Olympus says, stupid merch ideas, custom seeds and labels, or a watering can. How about a watering can? Red Olympus said personalized watering can. Oh yeah. We read that earlier. MP, Russia uses Iran, Shia, uses Hamas, Sunni, proxy, uses Palestinians, Sunni, uses Paul supporters. So Palestinians keep suffering, but it's all the fault of Jews. Jews. Yes. Mateo, you guys studied Islamic and Christian eschatology. Yes, I studied all of it in and out. I know everything about it. Ask me anything you want. I will tell you all. But don't believe it. The science apologist says Zaid and Momo were making noises behind trees. Like what? What kind of noises? Like this?
Why Zayd?
It wasn't Zaid. It was actually
Diha would be a much more likely candidate.
It was Dihya. Yeah, Dihya. I'm gonna Dihya. Matteo says Christian and Islamic eschatological anti-parallel. This is true words have never been spoken. All right. That's it. With that said, David, what is your you know what? I think I'm gonna go live again, just to talk about the other part of this debate, the age of consent. Although it is disgusting, and I don't want to talk about it, but it is something that we could talk about. How about we go live again in an hour and continue doing that?
No.
Okay, fine. Then we could probably do that sometime this week.
Mm-hmm.
Johanna Bockhammar said, will you follow the progression of the Eurovision Song Contest hotspot in Malmö, Sweden? There will be bloodshed. I hope not. I hope not. Did that begin already? Wasn't that supposed to be in... Oh, it is May, right? That's funny. When is that? When are the finals? I don't care about the rest. When are the finals? Oh. It is May 7 to May 11th. I see.
Oh, right around the corner.
Much of Europe, especially Western Europe, usually doesn't care that much about Eurovision Song Contest, but this year it is especially important because
this ranks right up there with the World Cup for Americans
because of Israel. Because they were boycotting and were demanding Israel to be kicked out and all that, and I don't know. Let's see how this goes. I don't even know what's going on. I need to follow this closely. Maybe I could comment on it. And I could turn this into a reaction to music channel. All right. CB said, hey guys, love from Australia. Unfortunately, we are having here issues here. A Muslim kid stabs a Christian priest and Muslims acting like they are the victims. That's terrible. What? A Muslim kid stabbed a priest there? In Australia? Wow.
Yeah, and we pointed out the how different the cultures are. When the Christian priest got stabbed, the first message he posted afterwards was telling Christians, "Hey, do not react violently over this," and telling, "Hey, don't cause problems over this."
Why stop?
The only message to the Muslims was, "I forgive you." And you compare that after every single Islamic terrorist attack in the West, the message is of Muslims, like groups like the Council on American Islamic Relations, is not to tell Muslims not to do anything over this stuff. It's to tell non-Muslims, hey, you better not have a backlash. And we're all worried about the huge anti-Muslim backlash that never comes. It was totally different. The message after every Islamic terrorist attack is never, ever, ever, hey, Muslims, stop doing this. Not from Muslim organizations. It's, hey, you unbelievers better not get mad over this.
You see, the Christian guy was stabbed and he said, I forgive you. It's because Christians are weaklings. If they were strong like Muslims, they would have stabbed 1,000 people back. This is why Muslim will win. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the latest updates are about Bishop Marmari. But
the last I saw, he was in Jerusalem. He went to Jerusalem.
Really?
Yeah. Traveled to Jerusalem.
What's with his eye? Is his eye
to
better
celebrate
now?
Something? No, he still had an eye patch on.
Okay.
And people were saying that in the Arabic version, he had mentioned that he had lost an eye. I still get daily messages saying it was all a false flag and a setup.
It's because the Zionists wanted it.
The Zionists.
The Zionists.
أقول في هذا الحادث الذي حصل قبل أسبوعين هذه العين فقدت. أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح. أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح.
I don't know what he's doing. If I had a missing eye that was chopped out by a jihadi, I would get this cool tricked out eye patch with a big cross right in the middle of that thing. Big cross right in the middle.
Because he's not as cool as you, man. That's why. Yeah, he does say that. Hey, are Muslims hearing this, by the way? How he refers to Jesus?
أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح.
يسوع المسيح. Are you hearing that, Muslims?
أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح.
He's not saying Isa. Isa. That's what you say. He's not saying it.
يسوع المسيح. أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح. أطلب من الرب يسوع المسيح أن يقبل هذه العين كعربون محبة وعربون تضحية، ولكني أخجل أن أقول أنا أضحي للرب. ما صنعه الرب على خشبة الصليب لا يوجد إنسان على الإطلاق أن يوفي ما صنعه الرب يسوع المسيح، ولكن أصلي يا يسوعي الغالي الحبيب أن تقبل بنعمتك وبمحبتك، أن تقبل هذه العين عربون حب لكل إنسان مسلم أينما تواجد. أنا أعطيك عيني يا حبيبي المسلم، إن لا تبصر فأنا أكون العين لك، ولتكون هذه العين كما نقولها في اللهجة الدارجة العراقية، حبيبي أنت هاي العين تروح لك فدوة، هاي العين تروح لك فدوة حبيبي، هاي العين تروح لك فدوة يا الغالي.
Wow. This is even more intense in love and forgiveness than his speech in Arabic, his speech in English. Whew. Okay. Well, right. Thanks everybody for watching. Anything else you want to say, David?
No, we're good.
No, we're not.
Sulaiman said it all.
Thank you, Sulaiman. Thank you, Sulaiman, for your fantastic comments. Eye patches, we'll get those too, with cargo trees on them. Thanks everyone for joining. We will be live tomorrow on David Wood's channel, where we will talk about interesting things. And unless, of course, the Zionists prevent us from doing so for whatever reason. Everything that goes wrong is because of the Zionists, as you heard from Sulaiman.
Blame the Jews.
Always blame the Jews. Whatever Jews you want to blame. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day. And as always, stay away from the thing. Or
stay away from Islam.